What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Knackers, and today is some sort of Sunday. Sunday, March 7th, 2021, and this is episode number 139. Tonight on the podcast, we have Bishop GP and Middle Age Stream. Bishop, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. I stayed up until like 7 a.m. last night playing Hell Let Loose, so I pretty much blew my entire day. I woke up like 3 hours ago.
Oh my God. Were you watching Gary play it or stream it last night by chance?
No, I played it with him. I played it with him 3 days ago, I think. We played for like 2 or 3 hours. But that's one of those games that you sink time into, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, it's been 8 days.
I was super interested in that game, and then I watched how slow you run, and I said, that game's not for me.
Yeah, it's funny. The game is like, it's crippled by its attempt to be realistic, but the realism's so real sometimes that it like takes away from the realism, if that makes sense.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yo, Jimbalina. If you were a stripper, that would be your name. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm recovering. I spent a lot of my weekend on the couch. I got that COVID vac, my first shot on Friday. So later Friday, I started getting kind of tired, and then Saturday I was just wiped and my arm hurt. That was the only real side effect I had. And then today I was pretty wiped for a lot of the day. I finally starting to feel back to normal. But it's cool, man. It was a good weekend regardless of just being a little tired. But it was good.
Did they go as deep as they are rumored to go with that needle?
No, it's just a simple shot.
Okay.
I mean, you don't even feel the shot.
There was this weird video going around where they showed like all 4 inches of steel going into people's bodies. I think they're trying to scare people into not getting the COVID vaccine. And I'm like, holy shit!
It's just like a basic subcutaneous shot. It's not anything special. Yeah.
Creep me out a little bit.
Yeah. But anyway, things are good and good to see you both.
Man,
did you opt for the oral or anal shot?
I opted for the anal shot, actually.
Yeah, okay.
I was hopeful.
Suppository.
I was so excited, man. I just dropped my pants as soon as I got in the line, and the lady had to tell me to pull my pants back up. That
you're like, I got a real good vein down here.
I stood in the line that said anal, so I knew I was in the right line.
Good vein down here. Oh my God. No, sir, please. It's not that kind of shot. Turn around.
Yes. No, please. I'll take it right here.
Well, it's good to see everybody. Thank you all for stopping in. It has been a fantastic week, I assume, for all of you. And hopefully, the weather is starting to turn around. I know in Texas, the sun has started to shine again. The city's starting to come back to life. How are things over there, Jimmy?
It was so crazy. I was just telling my wife that not even 3 weeks ago, there was snow on the ground, and then, today outside, it was like 80 degrees. I know, it's just... But no, things are better. Thankfully, in my area, we weren't hit really hard, fortunately, but it's starting to get better. But dude, I know that was a wild experience. I know there's a lot of there was actually a large portion of the Twitch. There's a lot of Twitch streamers from Texas, and there's actually some pretty big ones from Texas.
Oh yes,
and I did notice that it got noticeably quiet on social media for kind of like a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because they didn't have any power.
Livestream fails was at an all-time low as far as engagement goes. Yeah, you got Loco, Soda Poppin'. You got
some big-time streamers.
Trainwrecks over there. There's like everybody. Mizkif, Nick Polum. You got all those people that are over there.
Yeah.
So, is this something to do with taxes? Is that why everybody moved to Texas?
Yeah, they don't have you don't have to do like state income tax here.
Word.
What does that mean? You don't have to, just so no one does it?
Well, there is none. There is no state income tax. You have to file in Texas. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know if it was like you can elect to do it, because I would imagine.
You just don't have
I'm not
to do
doing
it.
that shit.
I don't have to do it. I mean, there's no state income tax.
There was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, this morning I like every morning we let the dog outside, and I actually went out. It was 36, 37 degrees outside. I walked out there with my shirt off and just kind of stood out there with Boba for a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, it's so fucking warm out. This is literally the best thing ever. And I know that if I ever move to a part of the country that has a warmer state of climate on a general basis, that like 60 degrees is gonna feel cold to me. But to like seriously, like when the sun is out and it's above 30, I could stand outside with my shirt off for an extended period of time.
That's just what is the word? Acclimatization?
Mid-coastal acclimatationables.
You're
That's
fully
the one.
acclimated.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
acclimated,
it.
yeah. It's when you're a climaxer. It's when you've been climaxing.
What else can we boomer on about since this podcast is turned to the weather?
Can I complain about one thing before we get to
More weather?
to the format of the podcast?
Oh, okay.
So I bought something this last week off of Amazon, and we all know that if you've been using camera or video equipment over the years, it's gotten so much better. And like just the products have gotten way better than they used to be, right? Not just like cameras, but like the grip equipment. So like lighting equipment, the thing like options to mount things. And one thing that I use that other people are, they're starting to transition to, or they're starting to use. They're a little bit more expensive, but I use a bunch of C stands. So to hold the lights, I have like these big arms these big poles that hold. It's like a big ass metal tripod basically, with like arms that extend over so you can hang lights. So I want to move it away from my desk. So what I did is I bought this. It's called a baby pin wall plate off of Amazon. And what it is it's a plate that plugs into the wall. I have it here. It's basically a plate that mounts to the wall. So then you have your C-stand pin, and then it has this adjustable.
Boy, you audio listeners are really missing out.
Yeah. You're missing
Bishop
out.
hangs
You're missing
babies
out
on
big
walls.
time.
Confirmed.
This is a real treat for those that are able to see this live.
So
okay?
this is a boomer complaint. Okay, so typically you'd mount something to this, so then you can mount like a camera or a light or whatever it is, right? So check this out. I get this from Amazon. I'm super excited about to mount this on and then put my camera on it. Right. And it has this. It's like incredibly rigid, super strong, supposed to hold like 50 pounds. The biggest problem is that the pin on the bottom spins and you can't tighten it. So if you put anything on it, it like spins to the bottom. And I'm like, how did you fuck this up? It's so incredibly stupid.
So you're gonna buy some more? You gonna buy another one?
I'm like baffled that this is.
You're gonna send it back?
I'm gonna send it back. I'm fucking pissed. I'm gonna write a review.
I'm gonna write a review. When you write the review, can you please save it? Because I would like you to read the review at a future podcast.
I'm just going to submit the podcast. Be like, we have a multinational, huge, massive production.
This is not a lie. We do have a multinational podcast. Yeah, there are people in other countries that listen to this.
Literally all over the place.
Number one mid-coastal fucking podcast.
Dozens of people listen to this podcast.
This is the number one podcast produced out of my apartment.
In the effort to continue to deplete the audio listeners of an experience, there's these little tension arms that have been amazing for me. They're these little ones. Bishop, you can't
articulating
really
arms. Yep.
Yeah, these little articulating tension arms where there's one single knob, right? And then you untwist that, and the entire thing basically just turns into a noodle arm. And then you just move it wherever you need to go, and then you tighten that one arm again, and holy fucking shit. So I now have 4
You
of
lost
these.
me at articulating arm.
These things, Jimmy, are like god tier. They have like little. So show the clamp on the bottom of that.
This type of clamp right here is like the Hulk of fucking clamps. So,
See, I don't design my own shit. I just buy the shit that is recommended to me by more knowledgeable people like you guys.
Fair.
Exactly.
That's why I got these headphones. That's why I'm using the same type of freaking swivel mic mount that Knackers uses. I do need to get the tension mount instead of this shitty, like the one that comes with this mic. They didn't have it available for when I was trying to get it, so I just didn't get it.
People always ask me, why spend over $100 on a multi-monitor mount when it comes to like their setups? Right now, on my one quadruple monitor mount, I have 3 monitors, 2 lights, 3 camera stands, 3 stream decks, 1 webcam. I think that's it. All branching off of a single pole.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Stop it. It's not that time of year yet. So I
always time to sing that song.
I have 3 of those arms that all branch off, each for 3 different cameras, and it's been fantastic. So I'm somebody who is just now getting into the audio video side of technology outside of streaming, and kind of getting familiar with all of these different parts and brands and stuff has kind of been it's been fun. It's been fun, except for I still fucking hate tripods because I feel like tripod is this giant messy market unless you spend $300. Like as soon as you get above the $200 or $300 mark, tripods get real simple. Everything else fucking below that, it's a shit show.
Yeah, I've bought the same throwaway tripod from Walmart. I think it's Tenga is the brand. It's a little silver one, and I've bought about 8 of those in my life, and they're each like $50. So, I just buy them for like little camera setups on site or wherever. Right. But I also have I can tell you, I had a $500-$600 tripod from Manfrotto, and the difference between that and then the tripod I have now that's $2,500 is, for video, a lot. For panning and tilting, for the sticks are pretty much the exact same. So like
you guys are just you're
buy 25. If you want to stream, buy a
$2,500 tripod panes out and just spraying everyone.
$2,500.
$2,500 tripod.
Yeah, but so this is for like field work. It's all carbon fiber. So it's like a video head, which was like
it's made out of like the same stuff that Wolverine's made.
Airplanes, airplanes and Wolverines, yeah. Cool. But do you know what's crazy is I have that tripod and I use a $200 C stand instead for streaming stuff. Like that, a million times better. They just weigh 600 pounds.
Oh God. All right. Well, is there anything that you guys wanted to catch up on before we kind of jump into our talking points? I know, again, Chad, tonight there isn't a lot of news that had went on in the past 2 weeks, other than the Elgato stuff, which we'll get into a little bit. That's probably something we'll spend the most time on. But we're just gonna be shooting the shit here for the most part.
Let's talk about our talking points. We got plenty of time.
Okay. Yeah. Bishop, you want to start? Jimmy, you want to start?
Yeah. I'll go. Fuck Jimmy. He can go fuck himself, man. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck Red Roof.
yeah, fuck that guy, man. I just had a talking point pop up into my head. I actually bought.
No. If it's not on the list, it's not on the script.
I'm adding it.
No. It has to be what you have up there.
So this is going to start as a talking point and then turn into a boomer complaint. But I bought the NHL Game Pass. Okay. For NHL TV, okay? And we always bitch about Twitch and how Twitch can't figure out how to monetize their platform and how they're struggling and like they just constantly just do stupid shit. I've been watching the NHL, different games, different teams, different regions for the past like 5-6 days that I've had this, and I've seen 2 fucking commercials, and it's been the same 2 commercials that have played constantly the entire time that I've watched it. And now I'm getting like PTSD whenever I hear like the commercial soundtrack come on. It's like it almost to the point where I'm like, when you edit a video, you fucking hate the music that you're using. That's where I'm at with the NHL now. So now I'm just watching the games on mute.
What's the thing what do you have PTSD from?
Just the music from the commercials. The music.
Say that one more time.
The music from the commercials. Wait, commercials wrong? You guys don't say commercials?
Commercial?
Commercial? Wait, what do you say? Commercial.
Yes.
I also say Mercedes. I say Mercedes.
A commercial is like a guy in a porn video that has a badge.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's a commercial.
He's doing he's calling the
commercial.
Yeah.
You caught that's good. You caught on.
Wait, is that not how you say it? Are there any Canadians in chat?
It is
Canadians back
commercial.
Even I've never heard
any. I'm being attacked by Americans. I need a Canadian to back me.
I know Canadians, and I can tell you I've never heard a Canadian call it a commercial.
Yeah.
All right?
Commercial. Well, listen, we get these things mixed up. We need these. They're both very important things. You need your commercials. You know why I got I confused these things?
Look, Mr. 42 even just said it. He's Canadian.
He says commercial. Well, we don't know. I've been in his presence. He's never said commercial. Mr. 42 just said in chat, Mr. 42, and this is a quote, and I say commercial. LOL. Sorry, Bish. So it's dependent on who reads it.
Say Mercedes.
I think I say Mercedes sometimes.
Mercedes, okay.
Mercedes. So here's why I distracted the 2 things, because on Twitch, we have like the just chatting category where we have commercials and then we have the commercials. So we have both of those things. Okay, between like the
gaming!
bathtub streams and all that. Yeah, coke gaming. Commercial. So that's why I got those things distracted. But okay, fuck you guys. Okay, first of all, I'm a Canadian.
Hey,
okay,
man.
I'm proud.
Why don't you just let's just bring it down a notch? How is it that the youngest guy on the podcast is the most boomer guy on the podcast? How is that possible?
How old are you? 27?
I'm 27. Yeah.
What the
It's
fuck,
like half,
Jimmy?
Yeah, half Jimmy's age.
Mm-hmm. Guess
Dude,
who
we
turns
cha-
40 this year?
Dude, us boomers
really?
or
Wow.
Zoomers, we change words, man. We don't care what the normality is. You guys are fucking
In your structured box, okay? You use words because your parents told you how to use words. We just fucking freestyle this shit, boy.
You're just fucking conditioned by the parameters of your society. This is
Yeah, I
not
don't live
even
within your
ground.
parameters.
Hey, how long did it take you to bouffon your hair today? How much time did you spend?
not much time. See, like when you're not balding,
You must use some good.
typically
You must use some good product. When you what?
when you're not balding, it's usually just like little floofy, just like this. You go like that, and it's
Yo, that was not an. That was ouch, man. How do you feel about that, Knackers?
I'm not balding.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah,
This is
Knackers
a
isn't balding.
choice.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not balding.
It's a choice that I like. It involves a lot of crying and then showering and shaving every couple days, but it's a choice, man.
This is a great moment for our sponsor plug, Rogaine.
Yeah.
Rogaine
Yeah.
from Andy. use code Jimmy for 10% off.
Yeah, 10%. And then if you want to go to streamteams.com/Rogaine and sign up for our stream team, and we're just going to fucking shave you. It's actually weird. Something that I didn't anticipate after losing my hair was people who met me bald and then see me with hair and they go, no.
I think you look better bald. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you look better. I think you look better with a shaved head myself because I've seen you. I've also seen you with hair, so I can. I mean, very subjectively, still say I think you look better with a shaved head.
Thank you. It's been 3 years of shaving my head, which is kind of fucking insane. I'm definitely more comfortable with it, but if I could just be bald without having to shave, like there's so many other stupid things that come with having to shave your head, especially if you want to razor shave your head. But if I could just be bald, it'd be fine. But there's just so much other dumb bullshit with it that I can't stand. But it is what it is. What was the whole point of that? Your commercial? We need to expand on this commercial idea.
My
by the way,
commercial is
Yeah.
it's two commercials or commercials. Okay, there's two of them. There's not three. There's two of them that are on constant rotation.
Okay.
And the thing that's even more annoying is that I'm paying for the service. It's like $80 for an entire year.
You don't like.
So I get constant commercials. Okay.
Commercials.
And I don't even get the good part of it. Okay. I'm getting penalized. Okay. Penalized.
Can't you just hit a button to like
the
mute?
commercial comes
Can
on.
you not mute the commercials? The commercials.
The problem, yes,
now
you
you've
can,
fucking done it
but-
to me, dude.
Dude, listen,
You
man. You
tainted
get the
my brain.
commercials
Just
on
stop
your
saying
brains,
it.
bro.
Just don't ever say it again. Don't ever say it again.
Dude, you know what's funny? Being I don't know if it's Canadian or if we're just like back of the woods gypsy Canadians, you know, like just like oil fucking working Canadians. Is that I have like my accent kicks in, and once it starts kicking in, I can't get rid of it. Like it starts like I'll be like, oh yeah, my accent there. Oh yeah, for sure there, bud.
You
yeah.
better stop now because that would make it. I wouldn't be able to stop making fun of you the rest of the podcast.
Carl the Canadian commercial. Wait, dude, we have to build on this idea. I need an animation of what this guy would look like, where he stands on set. Is he silent? Is he vocal? Does he have a badge? Does he wear sunglasses? He's got to
like a
have a
porno,
mustache, right? A
Yeah,
mustache.
Yeah.
He's got to be like the Guinness World Records guy with a clipboard, right? And then
I
if
mean,
the-
honestly, I'd like to imagine that the commercial would look a little something like me.
And Liam Neeson.
yeah,
Yes,
Liam Neeson
with a
and
badge.
Jimmy, yeah,
With a badge.
Marshall.
I'm the Marshal.
Well, speaking of the next thing that we have on the list is talking about hardware, how long we've waited for particular things. I know this doesn't apply to Jimmy because he just got his hands on a 3070 recently, but you want to expand on your thought here, Mr. Bishop?
Yeah, so I obviously everyone knows that like the 3080s came out, AMD came out with their 5950X, which is like their flagship model underneath $1,000, super powerful. Everyone knows in the current climate, you can't get anything new because it just gets bought up either by Bitcoin miners or by like the guy that failed high school that thinks he's a business entrepreneur because he's just acting as a middleman and using StockX.
Sean Parker.
Yeah, exactly. Let's call him out. But I've been waiting. I've been trying to. So first of all, I got super lucky, so I shouldn't be complaining still to this point because I got two 3080s when they first came out. I just was able to snipe them. But I've been waiting to get a 5950X CPU. And here's my process. So just so everyone understands. I sit with Discord open with text-to-speech on for certain channels. I sit with a Discord open that has stock alerts for the 5950X. I leave that page open. So the minute that notification goes off, I can click on the web page. On top of this, I have the Amazon offers page up, constantly refreshing so I can see if one comes in stock. I have been doing this for the past like 2 months, trying to get, or actually probably since the end of December, trying to get a 5950X, and I have yet to beat a bot. What happened 2 days ago is they came into stock on Newegg, and we could have a whole podcast about me talking shit about the brain dead decisions that people at Newegg make, just making their purchase as impossible as possible for a human, but as easy as possible for a robot. I put the product in my cart, had it in my cart, went to check out, and it said, hey, before you check out these quick offers. I closed it, and it put up another one of those pages because it offered me warranty. And it's like, if they wouldn't have done that, I would have gotten the product. But instead, I've gone through this process now for 2 months, and I'm getting cock-blocked by Newegg. So my whole thing is like, what's the longest you've had to wait? I don't remember a time in the past that I've had to wait this long to get something that I just want to purchase.
I honestly, if I can't get it in like a week, I stop trying. Like I am not the person like you to sit around and to try and get a spot because there's no way for me to do it at work. And so I know you have the luxury of working from home, so this kind of stuff is super easy for you. But the stress and like the having to constantly be tied to something, like your fucking heart rate over the past 2 months is probably like 10% higher than it usually is. I couldn't do that to myself over an extended period of time. So, and a couple of the times we have somebody big shoe in Discord who's been monitoring Discords for when 3080s come in stock, and I've watched him. Alerts are here. I'm checking. Failed. Alerts are here. I'm checking. Just like over like every week on Tuesday, like clockwork. And I'm like, I did that for 1 week. I'm like, now I'm done. There's no reason for me to continue doing this.
Well, on my side of that, that's why I just settled for a 3070 because I would have loved a 3080 if I could have gotten my hands on one. But for most people, I would imagine a 3070 is more. That was my point I wanted to talk about when I saw what Bish had wrote on this subject was I managed to get a 3070. I managed to get one through Best Buy. I was following a Twitter account and I put the notifications on for that account. So every time he would update, I would get the notification and I would check it on my watch. You know, I could just look down and see Twitter alert. Is it related to video cards? It's not, then I don't even have to bother with it. Right. Even if I was working. So but one day it was perfect timing because I had just finished teaching a class and I had a conference period and the notification went off and it said Best Buy. It had just gone live. Yep. So I logged in and I was able to snag a EVGA, the model I wanted to, the freaking 3070. And this is all anecdotal, of course. You guys know if you look at the technical prowess of everyone on this podcast, mine is the lowest. But I will say I still have a decent amount of understanding of tech. And I would say that this 3070 is just like a ridiculously overpowered card. Like it's so good. I mean, I've been able to stream in 1080 8000 using this card and the RTX chip, as well as play some recent, like I was playing Dark Souls 2 and play it in 4K without it like even breaking a sweat, man.
Oh, I figured you were playing those on console.
No, I had the other one. I had remastered on console. I didn't get 2 on console because it hadn't been on sale, and then someone in the community had purchased it for me.
Oh, that's
On
nice.
Steam. So, but anyway, the whole point I was trying to make. The 3070 is a great card. If you can get your hands on one of those, unless you're a power user that is using, your job is based around like video graphics and editing, of course, like some people in here, then I get why you would need the 3080s. But the freaking 3070, I'd be willing to bet it's a ridiculously good card, man. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
Ugh. I'm definitely jealous. I'm now realizing that I'm the only person in this podcast that does not have a 3000 series card. Not only that, but my card is a 1080 with 2 fans zip tied to it because my fans broke.
Is it not even a TI? Is it just a 1080?
It's a regular 1080. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I upgraded from, was the regular 1080, man. And let me just say, whew, what an upgrade.
Honestly, dudes like us, we chase after. Well, I don't think you necessarily as much chase Jimmy because you were so content with all of your stuff for so long. But I think gamers in general tend to chase hardware, thinking that like you have to have the latest and greatest in order to compete. But the reality is, like, PC hardware has been really fucking good for like the past 5 to 7 years. And the 1080 is probably 4 years old now, I would say, by the time the first one came out.
The 1080 is still a great card. I mean, it's not a bad card at all. I mean, you can even do some 4K gaming with a 1080.
Yeah. So I'm gaming at 1440p, and do I get 144 hertz in every game? Not necessarily. But like, can you imagine if the 1080s had the NVENC encoders, like how long those cards would be around?
Oh my gosh, that's the reason why I upgraded, because I'm a streamer. I was already pushing what my card could do without the dedicated encoder, and so I decided it was worth the purchase, and I'm glad I did. And it made sense for me. I spent money on one. I spent money on one thing. Fuckers.
Sorry.
And it totally upgraded the things that I'm capable of doing when I'm streaming. So it was a good purchase, I think.
Absolutely.
When I used to stream actively, I did it on a 3930K and a 780, not even a 780 Ti. That was my streaming PC. Yeah. So you can stream off of anything. It's just you multitasking with the new stuff. The thing that I'm wondering nowadays is if the time of being able to get what you need, like to buy equipment, is kind of gone by the wayside. And if we're going to see like a generation of like not being able to purchase shit because people are just buying it to resell it on eBay, so like the prices of shit is just going to fucking skyrocket.
Right. Well, I think there's going to be something done about that soon, I think. Because like in what other market does this happen still? I mean, I'm sure like sneakers, right, is something where people probably snatch a bunch up, but it's either they're going to get overproduced to meet the demand, or somebody's going to do something about it, whether it's the merchants that are going to see, okay, this person has sold this item 1,700 times in the past month, you can't sell anymore, or something. Like, I'm hoping something like that comes down the line, because I've been somebody who has tried not to get their panties in a bunch regarding all of this hard to find stock, but we're like coming up on like a year now, and I'm like, I'm ready and can't upgrade. And it was one of those things where I'm also an advocate of telling people to never wait for the next generation of hardware to come out. If you have the money, buy what is current, and that'll carry you for another 3 years. And it was one of those times where I'm like, you know what? All right, this one time I'll just wait a couple months for these cards to come out, and then I'll go. And it fucking bit me in the ass so hard the one time I didn't wait. So it is what it is.
Dude, I back in May of last year, I bought a 2070S for $489 on Amazon. Okay, there's a bunch of them in stock. 2070 Super. I just sold it for $700. Okay, 2 days ago. So I had a card for free, and it was funny because like I spent like a week trying to decide if I wanted to get rid of the 1080 Ti that I had or the 2070S. They're literally the exact same card. It's like a difference of 5% in little tiny things like multitasking. So I ended up keeping the 1080 Ti just based on the fact that I could sell the other card for $300 more. But yeah, I am incredibly blessed that I chose to buy computer equipment just before I did, because this has been like 6 or 7 months now where like you literally can't get, like, even in the past 2 months or 3 months, you can't get any of the cards. Like, you can get what is the 3060 Ti. You can't even get the 3070s.
Dude, I got lucky.
Can't get shit.
I just happened to get lucky on a day and log in, and it was only because it was available through my local Best Buy. Like, that's the only reason why I got one, because it was the stuff that was going to that store. If you lived in that area, you could get that card before it was ever dropped off at the store. Yeah, you know.
I think this is I think the next generation, if this type of shit continues to happen, what's going to end up happening is that you'll have to normalize people just botting shit. So like, there's going to be some application that everyone has on their phone where they just list the products that they're trying to purchase, and it's just a bot that goes and purchases everything. So you don't have to run it on your own hardware. It's just something that's like that's mined from another company.
Do you think that'll be allowed? Like, do you think
100%.
you think so?
The problem is that unless the government steps in and says, hey, you guys can't buy a product to upsell it, right? Then there's nothing to stop these companies, because Amazon doesn't give a fuck if the second that all of their product goes on sale, that it gets purchased immediately, right? They don't care as long as the retail price gets bought up. The problem is that for someone like Nvidia, they're going to look at this and be like, oh, fuck. The card we're selling for $800 is actually able to sell at $1,400, so maybe it's worth it for us to start upselling our own cards, and then they just manage that themselves. But then you're still going to have the same problem where people buy that stock and then just up it by $300-400 with the 3080s. Back when I bought them, I think they were like $200 or $300 more than they're being resold for $200 or $300 over retail. The 5950X is almost double the price. It's like retail is like $799 and they're selling for like $1,400-1,500. Now they're coming down to like 12 or 13. But to me, I've already like stuck it out for the past 2-3 months, like refreshing this page over and over again and having like the Discord alert, the way the Discord alerts work, where it's only the page that you have open. So like right before this podcast, I sat down and I heard the fucking thing going off because Jimmy actually posted in the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast channel. So I heard it and I was like, oh fuck. And I'm like looking at the all the stock alerts. To me, it's like I've already stuck it out. I kind of have to just like wait for these things to come out, but I'm not going to spend double the fucking price, even though it's like a work related purchase for me. So I can afford to buy it for like a couple $100 more. But like to me, it's just it's like my honor will be destroyed if I waste $200-400 because that's like a NVMe in a MOBO. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's $400. Oh my god,
that's a lot of money. A lot of money.
By the way, what are we drinking tonight?
Oh, I'm actually got to get another one. I'm drinking Pacifico, and I have some Jameson Stout Edition.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
It's okay.
Do you want to run right now, and then we'll hit your points once you get back?
Sure. Yeah, you guys can poke each other in the butt. Be right back.
Okay. That's impossible. So that's an insult.
That would be a butt kiss. That would be a butt kiss.
There's no way for both of us to poke each other in the buttholes with our penises at the same time.
Well, actually depends on length. It's like a length to girth to mass ratio.
I'm going to need help, dude. I'm going to need your help in that department.
Yeah, so it's the girth of the body and the buttocks to the length of the penis. So that ratio, you basically divide the girth by the length by the mass. And then you basically have to circumvent if the orbital structure of the penis is able to reach the backside at full mast. You also have to factor in the angle of the curvature of the penis as well. And also the curvature of the anus, what angle it's sitting at. Because you would need to basically pass by the penis on both sides. You'd go peen to peen, rotate underneath. And your peen
are
would
you
have
doing
to
like a almost like a pretzel knot where you're both kind of intertwining and then going up in around, kind of like
yeah. So realistically, like if we want to get into the nitty gritty details here, you'd have to balls to one side, both people. So peen to peen, okay. Rotate. One person rotates one way, the other rotates the other. So you have a pass through under the leg for the balls. First for the peen, the balls would have to come up. Peen would go under on the opposite side. So you have a pass through, but your peen would also need to not curve down. That both the peens would need to curve up in a way that it's almost a J hook, so then it could touch the anus.
Okay, let's say if you're standing up,
Mhm.
are buttholes vertical or horizontal?
Do you wipe standing or sitting?
Sitting. I'm not a fucking
Okay, same.
idiot.
We're not fucking crazy men. Yeah. Okay,
I
we're not
like
psychopaths
when you
here.
stand up, your fucking cheeks clenched together. Why do you want to wipe two cheeks that are clenched already?
Yeah.
And
When you wipe, do you go under or do you go around? Like lift one cheek and go around?
Under is insinuating that I wipe back to front, and that is just not
That
acceptable
is,
for
There's
anybody.
people that wipe like that.
Yes, those are called
yeah.
UTIs.
Yeah. Okay. That's
But
called
here's
poop
my
beans.
thing. If you're standing up, you would think
Yep.
that your butthole is more vertical than horizontal, correct? He's standing up. buddy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I think it depends on the butthole,
technically,
right?
if the butthole is here and the other gentleman's pee-pee is coming from this way, can you poke a butthole from the rear? Is that a poke?
Here's the question. Have you ever tucked your peen in between your legs backwards to look like you have a mangina?
The good old Wilson Tucker? Yes.
Yep. I think you could touch your anus with the tip of your penis, depending on the... See, this all goes back to the mathematics of this thing, right? So, like, your taint length also matters here because it's the distance between your peen, the shaft of your peen, and your butthole, right? So that would need to be a reduced amount to be able to reach that, but not so small that the balls get in the way, right?
But we are also assuming that not every taint length, like taint is not proportional to
Exactly.
size.
Right, exactly. But also the positioning of the where the testicles come down, your balls come down, because that couldn't be too close to the anus. Otherwise, it would obstruct the ability for the penis to then touch the butthole.
Do you think any woman who has had a child like checked their taint afterwards and they were like, it's shorter than before? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. I think so. I think that's the thing. Some women actually, when they have, and I'm pretty sure, I'm like 80% sure, some women actually rupture in between their vagina and butthole when they have a child, which is like a terrifying thing.
They just get cut by the doctors to allow the child to pass. Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm gonna ask my mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to penis to asshole mathematics instead of that.
Yeah, see,
that's more in my interest.
Jimmy just seems to leave at the absolute worst times. Like when we really need a Cummercial to give us some sort of mathematical equations. God damn it. As far as what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Hollows and Fentimans ginger beer, botanically brewed, and approved by John Hollow's Gluten Free Association. Okay,
Sounds tasty. Is it
yeah,
local?
it's really good. No idea, man.
Is it a locale?
It was locally purchased by Casey. If that
That
helps.
makes sense.
But it's a ginger beer and it's alcoholic. It's actually really good, man. It's nice.
Who leaves the house more?
Casey, 100%.
Yeah.
I walked to the store that's pretty close, a little plaid pantry, which is like a 7-Eleven around here. And I walked to that and it was like a big mission for me. And it was like 2 blocks away. Casey leaves. In a month, I probably leave the apartment twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
If she had the option to grocery shop by herself or with you, would she choose by herself?
Because of COVID, we used to grocery shop like she would go solo maybe 70% of the time, but because of COVID, we made like the decision to only one of us do that, and she ended up. I mean, I just have no fucking clue what I'm doing in a grocery store. I'll buy like hot dogs and a fucking pizza, maybe some chicken breasts. Like I always spend like $100 at the grocery store, come home, and I have like a basket with like the most useless fucking shit inside of it, and you can't make anything out of it. So, and she's like a fantastic chef, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think I don't know. I'd have to ask her if she would prefer me there, maybe just so she's not as bored, but she's a little independent.
And that's what I figured. Jimmy, I've one. Were you listening to our conversation by any chance when you got up? Okay, one small question with a second super small follow-up question. If you were standing up, do you think that buttholes are vertical or horizontal?
I think they're more horizontal.
You think so?
Yeah. No.
All right. Okay, small follow-up question. Physically speaking, If you were standing up, if me and you were standing face to face with each other, and I took my wiener and I shimmied it underneath yours, can I poke a butthole from in front of you, or would you think that poking would have to happen behind you? Like, could you poke a butthole?
I figured it out.
From in front? You did.
I figured it out. Yeah. I'm going to let Jimmy answer this.
No, you can't poke a butthole from the front.
Okay. So it would be a little more like a graze, if you will.
Yes, a brush by.
You could do like the mushroom you'd pinch. You'd have to pinch the shroom cap to the butthole.
Gotcha.
So I figured this out. We're thinking of this. We went through the mathematics while you were gone because previous to leaving, you said you guys can poke each other in your buttholes. Okay, like this, and then you did this action. So basically, what we started to figure out is the mathematics behind that, like how we would do that. If we'd have to spin around, what would take place? So
the entire time we were gone, we carried
I
this.
actually had an enlightening moment that just happened just now.
Was
as
it,
you're
though?
speaking? I was looking into Jimmy's eyes, and I was enlightened about how I would go peen to hold a peen with him. Okay, specifically.
Okay.
And the way that this would work is actually a scissoring motion, going leg
really
to leg,
comfortable conversation,
twisting like this, and then pushing down. You know, like when you wake up and you have a boner, and then you have to like push it down because you don't want it sticking up, so you push it down into your.
I'm really
waistband.
loving this. I'm
You go
glad
down
that
like this.
I can see
and then on either side, you're facing opposite directions. His hole would be there, the other hole would be on the other side, and then it would just.
Yeah, that's fun to think about.
By the way, we're looking for sponsors for this podcast. We're very family friendly, and we've really been looking for somebody to hop on with it. But anyways, Jimmy, go for it.
Oh, my stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we got a couple of items. First item, quick thing of news for you fans of the Souls games. I'll drop it in the link in chat. This just dropped yesterday. Apparently, there is a series in the works, or a game in the works, by the makers, are an exclusive to Xbox, supposedly. So, which means X and PC and Xbox. A sci-fi RPG. There's some speculation that it could be a return of the Armored Core series, which was a From Software game a while back. But we don't know. But that's supposedly in the works. So I thought that was kind of a cool piece of news that I just happened to catch. It's speculation what it is, but I know there's a lot of fans of that Armored Core series. I never played it. I've heard about it. And I'm certainly, if this is what it is, I'd be curious to try it out because I feel like I think they made it up to like 6 games. The last one came out like around 2012 or 13 for the 360. So I think they would probably at this point maybe just reboot it instead of jumping to a 7th game. Probably, you would think, right?
How many like major like AAA games have they had? Like, have they been around for like a really, really long time?
They, I don't know how long they've actually been around. I don't think they got really popular until Dark Souls, though, and that came out in like what 2011.
Armored Core was their first game in 1997. Wait, okay, I'm sorry. No, I'm on the Armored Core wiki, not my bad.
So From Software, they've been around.
Dead air.
Founded November 1986 in Shibuya City, Tokyo.
Wow.
Shibuya.
Okay. Shibuya. They currently have 316 employees.
I thought you were about to say games. I'm like, what the?
Their first game came out. Hang on, I'm scrolling back. It looks like Armored Core. They put out a lot of those. They've been putting out games a while. It looks like they put out a game called Frame Gride in '99. What the hell that means?
Classic, yeah. Frame Gride, yeah.
Frame Gride.
Wait, isn't Armored Core just a ripoff of Gundam?
Yo, Enchanted Arms. I heard that was good.
Which is also a ripoff of MechWarrior, the original big metal dude fighting. Do you guys ever play the MechWarrior games?
I never play them, but I don't know. I never really got into those games.
Or that movie with Wolverine where he's boxing the Armored Core guys.
because I'm not a punk bitch. What?
How far are you into the current Souls games that you're playing right now, Jimbo?
So I've beaten Dark Souls 1 remastered, and I am about 8 or 9 streams into Dark Souls 2. I've beaten it's probably like 8 or 9 bosses. There's 42 bosses in Dark Souls 2. I'm not beating all 42.
Holy shit.
I'm just trying to beat the game. There's a lot of them that are like optional or
just like the whole game.
Yeah.
so it's I mean, I'm having fun. I know Dark Souls 2 kind of gets shit on as like the one in the series that people don't like as much, but I've been enjoying it. And with that being said, I'm hopeful that there's going to be a longer break in between, and I may even split it up because I don't know if I can do 3 days straight of Dark Souls anymore. Like it's just hard, man.
Like Tuesday, Wednesday,
juice.
Thursday, 3 days straight.
I may do like Dark Souls 2 days in a row and then a retro on the other day, because it's just 3 days in a row of Dark Souls can be, for me, it's just I think sometimes by that third day I'm just like, oh, I'm about to get my ass fucking ravaged and get ready to go stream. You know what I mean? It's just it's punishing. It's a very punishing game. That's why on the weekends I always do something different, you know, whether it's retro roulette or XCOM or whatever. But it's a very well made game, and I don't know what it is about these games. I didn't understand it until I played it. God, they are really addicting. You know, like I find myself thinking about Souls games like outside of even when I'm streaming or playing games. You know, like I'm thinking about wanting to play a game, and that's something that hasn't really happened to me a lot in recent years, where I'm thinking about wanting to play a game when I'm not even playing it.
Yeah.
And so I think if there's one thing I guess could speak to how I think about that game, it's that. That might be the highest compliment I could ever even give a game, you know?
I will also say that I think no matter my love for video games, there's still times where I fall like in and out of love of playing, whether it's because of the game selection at the time or like issues with my own mental health. But COVID was a huge suppression on like my love for video games. And of course, streaming has a huge play in how you feel about video games too, after a certain extent. But that's how I felt about Call of Duty recently.
Yeah.
Like even the first couple days of playing the newest Call of Duty, I'm like, okay, like it's Call of Duty and whatever. But now, like when I come home from work on Fridays, and by come home I mean when I walk from my office to my living room Friday at 5 p.m., I'm thinking about wanting to play that game. And that hasn't happened probably since Rocket League. Like, there's been other games that I've really, really enjoyed. But as far as a video game that has captured my attention and that I've played Call of Duty every Friday and Saturday for the past 2 months, probably like since it's come out. I don't know.
See, that's good. And you guys have, and I know you guys are different than me in that you always like playing competitive multiplayer games. That's something that you guys... You're very different from me in that regard. Like I used to like doing that shit like 10 years ago, and then I just kind of, for whatever reason, I just stopped enjoying it as much.
Yeah.
And co-op multiplayer I enjoy, but like deathmatch stuff,
PvP,
whatever. You know. But anyway, I'm glad for you. I'm glad that you found something like that, because I guess it's perfect to segue into my next talking point. This is the time of year that happens every year where you have like a lull in between titles, like releases. Like this is the time of year for that. And everyone who's been playing video games know, like pretty much after Christmas and then really up until usually you don't see any other big releases usually till like the end of March maybe. And a lot of the bigger releases don't hit until like summertime. So, you know, granted, there's still indie titles and other things that are coming out all year round. It's just, this is a great time of year to get caught up on the backlog that I know everyone probably listening to this podcast right now has. Like, I have a insane backlog of video games. Like, just absolutely insane. I could not buy a new video game for now in the next 5 years at least and have something different to play, like, every day. You know? it's crazy how many games I have and access to now because of like Game Pass and all of my Steam library and my retro library and just like all this shit. There's so much out there now. It's never been a better time to be someone who loves video games because there's literally something for just about everyone.
And I will say, if you said there are games from 10 years ago that I've missed out on, I would say good luck going and playing those games. You're gonna have a rough time playing some of those older titles. But 10 years from now, the games that we play today are still gonna be really fucking good. Like if you were to play Little Nightmares or Control or like Overwatch 10 years from now, it's gonna be a great looking, polished, well-performing game that you could probably Overwatch not so much because it's a multiplayer, but like some of the campaigns, like the newest Star Wars RPG that came out. Why can't I think
Fallen
of the name?
Order?
Fallen Order. You could play that 10 years from now because like the difference between games now and games in 10 years, like the graphics are going to be better. Maybe some AI interaction is going to be better, but there's still going to be a lot of titles that are going to hold up, and that's what kind of makes me not feel like I need to play my backlog as fast as I originally thought I did, because some of these games are still going to be playable a little while from now. The only issue we might have is system architecture that's holding us back. If we move to a 128-bit system architecture.
I'm not saying I'm in a rush. I'm just, the point is...
No, that's just me personally.
Oh, yeah. I would say it's so cool, though. I mean, there's so many good games out there. Like, there's so many good titles to play. And there's so many unique titles to play that, I mean, honestly, there are times when I have so many options that I find it hard to choose what I want to play and then end up playing nothing. I know
and then you let chat decide.
Yeah, right.
There's going to be a time where you bring maybe a tablet or a single laptop somewhere, and cloud computing has gotten to the point where it is a viable contender with regular video games. You could be on vacation and be like, you know what? I'm chilling here on the beach for like this one day. I'm super fucking sunburnt, so I'm just going to sit out on the balcony, load up this tablet, play the video game that you were playing back home. If you wanted, you could launch up a stream, do a quick desktop capture with technology is going to get to that point where streaming is no longer hunkered down to your office or to your bedroom or wherever. So I'm super excited to see where that stuff goes to as well. Whether or not you want to take streaming on vacation with you or not is totally up to the person. I would advise you not, but I'm also the type of person that even when I'm relaxing, I still like working, like just a little bit. Like if I can, there's a difference between working and then working in a completely relaxed state. Like on a Saturday afternoon, I'm sitting here in my fucking underwear, drinking a beer, and I'm editing videos. Like that doesn't feel like work to me. Right. But I'm sure any psychiatrist would say, what the fuck is wrong with you? Take 12 hours off of work and just enjoy some alone time.
Yeah, no, I think, it's important to have that, but I mean, again, it's dependent on the person. So I mean, everybody's different. So.
Yep. Do you?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you a question about. I can't remember. It was something about the games we were playing, but we can move along.
This is a thing too. Just I don't know if you guys. This is anecdotal, but I still can't find a fucking PS5 to save my life. I've been trying to get one of those the digital ones, the non-optical drive ones. You know.
Oh, I realized you were trying.
Yeah, I was trying freaking anywhere.
Can't get it. Your mic cut out there for a second.
Oh, did it?
Yep.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good now. You said you were trying.
I was trying, and yeah. I haven't been able to find one, but hopefully at some point.
What platform specific titles are you after?
The biggest one is I want to play the remastered Demon Souls.
Okay. Dude,
Which
that needle runs so
do.
deep with you right now.
It really is, man. But I mean, I still have plenty of titles to play. I still have Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. So it's not like I have to get it right now. But I've been trying to find one because I would like to get one, and I fucking can't find one. So you
said you're planning to build your next house, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Have you already drafted what your gaming streaming room is going to be like?
I have not.
Okay.
It's not going to be a large space. It'll probably be around the space that I'm in right now. And in fact, I may even, because we're literally building on the same property we're living on now. So
Right.
I may even for a while I'm probably just going to leave it in here set up. I'll probably be streaming from this space for some time. Just because I know that the internet quality is good and I don't have to move anything.
So, okay, but like, okay, I need a little bit of
About my
hindsight.
streaming space.
Yeah,
will
like,
be,
is there going to be a couch with a TV in
there'll
there
be
too?
a couch. There'll
bathroom
be a couch.
connected.
There'll be a TV on the wall.
Okay.
So that way I can also be as a regular kind of like living space. It'll be a mini fridge.
Just the mini fridge, not like maybe a little mini bar as well.
You should have like a walk-in freezer.
maybe I'll have some stuff to make some martinis. I don't know. Maybe could be.
I gotta be
I might
honest
have
with you,
a little
Jimmy.
wooden, just like one of those little bars you open up. You know what I mean? Like one of those.
Ooh.
I'm
one of those little small bars.
I'm underwhelmed by your lack of imagination, like the lack of planning that you.
I'm a simple man, dude. I'm just a simple man. I don't need a lot. I really don't. Like I need the bare
Maybe a
minimum.
Cummercial or two, one in each corner.
I'm pretty simple, dude. I don't need like a whole bunch of shit. Like you just give me a little space, give me a computer, and a microphone and some booze, and I'm good, man. That's pretty much all I need.
I'm gonna go ahead and clip this right now, so I'm gonna pause for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Clipping that. I'm gonna save that because when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and you step into that room where it's just a bunch of fucking studs, you're gonna go, "Oh fuck, this is mine. This is my space, and I get to design it from scratch." And then it's gonna be a fucking speakeasy. There's gonna be taps. There's gonna be a beer tap.
There's gonna be a TV.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm gonna have an arcade. What I'm probably planning on doing is having one single stand-up arcade machine.
Okay.
That's close to my computer that I can also capture and send, so I could do some streams where I'm playing on an arcade cabinet.
Now we're talking. Okay.
Yeah, I have thought about something, but these things, it's so far in like the future that I haven't really gone too far in my planning of that.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you a pass for now. By the way, really quick, how do you like your chair?
I like it a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a Herman Miller,
Right. It's a gamer chair, right?
Yeah, but it's honestly what I really like about it the most is that the mesh material, and it's molded it. You can pick but it's a Respawn chair. This is like their best gaming chair, right? And it comes in like black or gray. I got it in gray because it was like $40 cheaper.
And I think you wear a lot of black too. So,
yeah,
you're
it
not
was
on camera.
actually, I prefer the gray anyway. But no, dude, it's like it's better than the chair I had. And the chair I had, I just took it to work. Is that it's better than the chair I had at work. So it was like an upgrade all the way around. But
Don't you love
my
that?
chair at work was killing me, so I had to upgrade there, and
Have you guys ever used the headrest on one of these chairs before? I was thinking about this the other day.
Only when I'm playing, not streaming. If I'm streaming, I can't because I got to be up on the mic. But if I'm playing a video game, I lean back. Oh yeah,
Really?
all the time.
Yeah, I don't.
all the time.
I never do it because mine doesn't have enough strength for like the lean
Oh
back.
yeah, mine. I can pull a little lever and
I feel like
this
I'm
sucker
falling.
will go way back.
So
Yeah, I feel like I'm falling.
a little
when
bit
I
of
do
a
this.
brag with this chair, but the headrest actually moves. It stays completely stationary. So even when I lean back, the headrest stays in the same exact position. So it actually supports your neck all the way back. So like
That's awesome.
with most chairs, the headrest just goes back with the chair.
Yeah.
But this one, it actually kind of comes forward as you lean back. So there's times
that's
when I'm watching something extended. And
And you don't even need a pillow.
No.
Yeah.
I pass
Yeah.
on this chair all the time. I go like this. I put my hands on my stomach. The cat will usually jump up and he lays down and I just...
You want to hear a pro strat, dude?
Yes.
So I took my other chair to work. I've been taking the freaking power naps at work like every week.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Taking them
there we go.
freaking.
Take a
I'm
steal
taking
back
like
from the
2
man.
to 3 power naps a week, between like 20
So-
to 40 minutes.
Rookie numbers.
Dude,
we got to bump up them numbers.
Yeah, I gotta bump those
Oh.
up. Get a commercial in here.
It's so nice, so nice.
What
Just
I-
taking that chair back and then just
Yeah. I realized I had the power of napping in high school when I could go like this and close my eyes for 5 minutes, and then like my head would fall off my hand, and that would jerk me awake, and be like, I'm fucking ready to go, dude. I'm a stallion. I'm ready to fucking pounce.
A power nap is like the greatest thing ever, man.
Yes.
It really is.
Yep.
And I didn't have time really to take them before this year. But now that I'm not coaching and I'm just teaching and stuff, and all I have to worry about is my classroom, when I get little breaks, I'm like, all right.
Good
I
night,
don't have students
motherfuckers.
in. I have a conference period one day and a remote class the other day. Well, I'm not on with them the whole time, or I have it pre-recorded for my remote class. So essentially, I have a conference every day. So I got time to take a little nap, man. I'm hitting it. The lights down low. Set the alarm on my phone. And I'm just freaking Here's the pro tip. If you don't have a fancy chair like that, you bring a pillow to the office and stow it somewhere. I stow it in my closet in the classroom. I pull my pillow out.
You what it?
I pull my pillow out.
No, what do you do to the pillow? Where does it go? How do you?
I pull my pillow out.
No.
Where is it though?
Where are you putting it? Like how? What are you doing with it?
I put it behind my head.
No, but before you put it to your head, it's where? What do you do with the pillow so it's hidden away?
Where do you put it away?
It's in my closet.
Yeah, I know. But how are you? What is the verb you use to
Hidden?
stow? You stowed it?
Stowed?
Stowed it away?
Yeah, it was stowed away.
Okay.
He's like an
You never
airline
say
pilot.
stowed? You never say stowed away?
No. Store.
No. Stash.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Stiegel? It's a nautical term, I guess, but
I was gonna say that the best part of your day, I'm picturing you in your classroom. The best part of your day, and when you have the biggest smile on your face, is the time in between you shutting off the light switch and then you walking back to that chair, and just like those 7 seconds of you walking across the classroom back to the chair.
it is the greatest ever. Like, honestly, and I know I'm getting a nap during the school day. I was like, let's say I've taken the way my days are set up, okay, is like this. On one day a week, I teach from like 8:50 all the way till I have a lunch break for like 30 minutes, but then all the way till 1:45, okay? And then I'm on conference period till pretty much the end of the day, till like 4:20, okay, when school lets out.
4:20?
Yeah, 4:20, school lets out.
What time does
Baby.
school start?
8:50.
Oh, okay. So you're starting later. I was about to say, I'm like, what the fuck?
But yeah, I'm there by 8 every day at the latest. I'm usually there by 7:30.
That's late as fuck. Like every school that I've ever been in or worked at, staff reports at 7. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm at work at 8:00. Well, it's high school, so we get out later, and we aren't having to be there as early.
Okay.
So, but anyway, but yeah, man. To make a long story longer, I like naps, and they've been good to me.
Is that an X-wing on the bedspread behind you?
That's a quilt. Yes,
I've never noticed that.
I never noticed that either. I thought that
There's
was
a TIE fighter above it.
stain.
It's quilted. It's all quilted together.
Huh. What are the pillows? The pillows say Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
No, that
man.
was a thing they sold at Pottery Barn like more than a decade ago. And then it was right around the time my wife and I got married, and we were trying to decorate the guest bedroom, the office, which became my first streaming room. Ooh.
Oh.
Anyway, the old
Lore,
house I lived
lore.
in. Lore. And so she was like, that was her like wedding present to me, was like this Star Wars. That's
Honey, this is where you're sleeping if we ever fight.
exactly. That was basically what she told me. She's like, if you fight, at least you'll know you're sleeping in an X-wing.
You're like, wait, babe,
badass.
I gotta.
When you
Badass, honey.
when you crawl into bed at night and she's laying there all pretty, do you go, I have you now?
Yeah.
By the way, I never said what I was drinking. I was drinking some Rainbow Sherbet beers before. I've picked up another pack of Red Stripe. So
That's your little go-to, dude. You like the little freaking red stripes.
I have
That's your go-to.
in my past year, I have bought both Molson and PBR and Rolling Rock, and they all taste like dog shit to me now. And I'm super sad because I love all of those beers. This is the only like cheap-ish beer that doesn't taste like dog shit. So I've been
It's
picking these
good.
up a
Red
little
Stripe's
bit.
good beer.
No.
No, it's not a bad lager.
I like
really
it.
isn't.
Looks
Real
like you're
quick,
drinking Benadryl when you're drinking it, like an old style Benadryl.
just because of the shape of the
The
bottle.
shape of the bottle, yeah.
Did I
got no
ever tell
stem.
you guys that I've what kids these days call robo tripping, to where you actually trip by swallowing enough cough medicine to kill a horse. Yeah. So back in my recreational substance abuse days, like 6 months ago, there was something you could do called robo tripping, where there was a certain drug in Robitussin, and I think it's since been released or removed, and any cough medicine that has it now is now like prescription. Like you can't just go and buy it. But me and my buddy would just swallow anywhere from 30 to 35 Robitussin pills and go to space. When I say
dangerous.
space,
that's so bad for your liver.
Interstellar. Fucking crazy. So I don't like cough syrup at all anymore. But holy hell, you could make a single bedroom feel like the Milky Way.
Yeah,
Drugs are bad.
They used to have codeine in some of those stuff too. I think
a little purple slurp.
Yeah,
the Milky Way.
that can really that can fuck you up.
It can, and it did.
Yeah.
I wonder why I'm so fucked up these days. I blame it on the Jehovah's Witnesses, but it was really that purple stuff.
No, it was probably the sex parties at your aunt's house.
Those essential oil gangbangs. God damn it.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we jump into the Elgato conversation, I would like to go over video games. I know, Jimmy, you kind of went over the Soul stuff.
Oh,
Dark Souls.
I also wanted to plug something now that I'm thinking about it.
Skip it. Next.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
I can't.
Wait, is this some type of commercial?
Is this a commercial?
It's a commercial.
Go for
Can we
it.
stop for a commercial break?
Yes, we
need to practice our ad breaks.
A former guest host of this show, Katie Peters Plays, and I are going to be playing some, and a few other people. We're going to be playing some No Man's Sky together coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be on break. I'm not streaming it because I'm not very good at dual streaming, and especially with multiple people, because there's going to be more than, it's not just me and her. But it'll be March 16th. I'll post about it. But it should be a good time. I'm going to be on spring break, so I'm just going to get hammered and be a fucking belligerent Jimbles in your channel. It'll be fun.
Why is that a spring break exclusive?
It's not. But it is because it's during the week. Because it's during the week. That's why. If it's on the weekend, you guys know. I was belligerent last night.
All right, I will send each one of the participants a bottle of Robitussin, and you guys can have a great time.
We have to have Katie Peterson back on the podcast because she tweeted. I have a bone to pick with her. She tweeted a few days ago her streaming setup, and her monitors are sitting on like 8 books. And I was like, I want to buy this woman a monitor arm.
You want to go half?
I don't even know how she gets by with 2 monitors. Honestly,
I will go half season. We should make a GoFundMe to save her because, dude.
We'll bring her. She already told me she wants to come back, so we'll Naggers will give me some dates.
That'll
we'll
be
get
a
her
surprise.
Back on. You can. Then I want you to go ahead and grab that image so we can use it to shame her at the start of the podcast.
Okay, and then at the end of the podcast, we'll gift her a brand new one.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
We can split the money for a monitor mount for Katie. I'd be happy to do it.
I loved, honestly. There is always a small part of me that envies the small, minimalistic setups.
She
Her
does
setup
have a
looks
very
fantastic.
minimalistic setup.
Yeah.
And she makes it work. I couldn't. I need all my gadgets and doohickeys.
Yeah,
so.
same. Other video games you've been playing, Jimmy? Any others?
Yes. Ace Combat 6 and The Outer Worlds. I've been doing that off stream. Because, so get this shit. My father-in-law, I live with my in-laws, right? Right now, because we're going to be building a property on the back of their property. And we, there's like a living room in the back. They have this massive house. It's this huge house. We live in the back part of the house, and they live in the front part of the house. There's a door that separates it's like a duplex, basically, Anyway, so my father-in-law is kind of crazy a little bit. He always wants to make sure shit's working right. And, I knew there was an issue. He was talking up this TV we had in the back of the house, that was mounted on the wall, and it was like a 4K TV or whatever. And I was like, well, it may be 4K or whatever, but it's got light bleed. On the panel, you could see it was bleeding out from the corners. You can easily see it when you would turn the brightness down, and you could see it coming off the edge of the panel. He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, Robert, you got called light bleed. Look it up. You got it on that TV, like because he was like, "You've been playing video games on there." I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of hard to play in the dark because the
lights are bleeding, brother.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him to like replace this TV, and sure enough, he has an insurance policy through something, and they came out to look at it. They're like, "Yep, got light bleed in that panel. We're gonna have to give you a new." So they wrote him a check for like $2,000, and so he bought like. Now I have like a state-of-the-art freaking 4K 120 hertz TV back there, dudes.
God,
I'm just sitting back there like I'm like,
Now you're gonna be walking around and be like,
so nice.
I don't know, Robert. I'm hearing some sound bleed. The
Yeah,
speakers, I've got sound bleed.
I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. The surround sound, it's just not quite cutting it, man.
This toilet, it's poo bleeding. I think we're gonna need one with a bidet.
No, it was funny. The day they came to install the new TV, he comes back. He comes around. He's like, "Okay, can you do me a favor? I need you to hook up your good Xbox, the good one, the new one you got. Hook that up to that TV back there." I was like, "All right, Robert, I'll hook it up."
And then once you're done, I want you to hit every fucking TV in the house. Check which ones be bleeding because I can't have this hemorrhaging happen in my house. Let's go.
He's in his early 70s, like he's with it, but he's also in his early 70s. He's a boomer, So sometimes I gotta but he's a great dude. He's a really good guy, and I enjoy. I wasn't taking advantage. I knew I was just accelerating the process of what was going to happen. That's all.
Robert got a brand new fucking TV, man.
He did. He had to pay like $100 freaking deductible. He got a brand new 4K top of the line set.
It makes me, whenever I hear stories like that, it's like a life hack or like someone that has their shit together. Like if something broke in my apartment, I'd be like, "Fuck, man! Like I've got to order one off Amazon now." Like this dude's got like an insurance program for his TV. Like Jesus.
He has insurance for every electronic. He's also the exact opposite of me, Knackers, in that. He has like 40 characters for like every single password on every single thing that he uses. Shit. Like he has it's ridiculous. Like the dude is ridiculous. Like it's just like I can't put my password on here. It's too many characters. I need to put it on another device. These goddamn Chinese are trying to hack my devices. I'm like, easy, man.
Oh, man.
Can't say Chinese around here? I know they're trying to hack us. I'm like, okay, well, it ain't just the Chinese, Robert, but you're right. Yeah,
the Russians.
There's hackers out there.
They're coming for us, too.
Yeah,
it's some kid named Xander down the street with a fucking VPN.
He's got one of those old black and blue Linksys routers turned upside down. He's like, I'm coming for that Jimmy Internet. Bishy, what games have you been playing other than Rogue Company?
Not Rogue Company. I quit playing that game. Hell Let Loose. I've been playing Valheim. I played that a bit.
God, everyone's playing that fucking game.
Yeah, that it's a good game. It's a good game. But this last week, I actually have been playing less games and just doing a bunch of catching up on animation projects, Jimmy's project, and catching up on work stuff. I've just been just hanging out. I've been watching, a lot of NHL and a lot of Twitch streams, so that's been tiding me over. But the only game that I'm trying to get my hands on right now is Midnight Club Los Angeles.
Oh my god! So I can play it on
Xbox because I found this game just in a video and I was like, holy fuck, I remember this. Like, in the nostalgia started coming back, so that might be something that I end up playing on stream. I want to see if I can hook it up to the racing sim. That'd be really interesting.
That I was running over people in Midnight Club before Grand Theft Auto ever made it famous.
Do you know what's nuts? I want to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure that most of the stuff in Los Angeles ended up being brought over to GTA 5. Like a lot of like the art style.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you look at Midnight Club Los Angeles, not the character models, but the cars, it's very similar to GTA 5.
Look, we can talk about good Midnight Club, but nothing is ever going to top Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. House
Dub
real
Edition
big, rims real big.
I never played a Midnight Club ever.
Bro,
dude,
they're
so
you know what I
good,
did play
man.
though that I loved was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and they
Yeah.
remastered that apparently and put it out recently. I might be willing to try that out. I don't think about racing games since I started streaming because it's so impossible for me to play a racing game and stream. You know.
Yeah. Yeah,
unless you have like text to speech coming in your ear like you did and shit. You can't take your eyes off the road to read chat while you play a racing game. You just can't.
I would say that Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition and the Need for Speed Underground series were probably two of my favorite car games to date. I think Brooke Burke was the babe of Need for Speed Underground. I was like, oh my god, this is my first boner. What am I gonna do with myself? But here's
Brooke
my
Burke was a babe.
She is a babe. I don't know if she's still a babe.
She probably still is. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen her since those days.
Too busy conquering X-wings in that
I'm
bed
looking
of
at
yours.
Brooke Burke.
I'm afraid that if that game if they did like Need for Speed Underground 3, that if I would pick it up, babe,
she's 49.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
only like
she's
2
still
years older
super
than
hot.
you.
She's still super hot. Holy crap!
This is a real human being. I thought this was like a digital.
No, she's real.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
dude, she's still
real,
mega
man.
hot at 49. Oh my god,
Giving me boners back then gives me boners nowadays.
dude! I'm looking at these photos that are not old, and I'm like, god dang, Brooke. Oh my god, I'm gonna send you this. You know what, I'm just gonna give it. This is not porn. This is from. I'm gonna put it in chat. Here you go. Enjoy. You're welcome. Look at the first picture. If you're seeing this now, look at that picture and tell me that.
This.
Holy shit!
Can you imagine
Brooke
if the
Burke.
general public had access to plastic surgery, what we would
So when
all
she
look
got
like?
this photo taken, she
I would
was
look like you.
37. She was 37. But god,
Wait. You linked a picture from 13 years ago?
dude,
What?
she's 47.
Wait,
No,
how do you know it's 13 years ago?
She's 40 something in this picture.
Okay.
2019. Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's 2 years ago. Instead of 47, she's like what?
Wait, what game was this from? And what am I missing?
She was
Need for
in
Speed
Midnight
Underground.
Club.
Need for Speed Under.
Oh my god.
Was it? Underground 2.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude,
Yeah,
this-
that was a banger.
She was your race liaison.
Oh, I remember this game. I played this at my buddy's house. I never had a PlayStation, so I couldn't play it.
I remember. I can't remember what platform I played it on, but just a very, very good game. And I know that if that game if they were to come out with number 3 nowadays, I would play it and be like, this isn't my type of game. Like that type of game just isn't my shit anymore. But back in the day, it was really, really good shit.
Just because like the graphics and car racing games were far superior to any other game. Like the realism of the car games were just so much better than anything else.
And they could.
They don't
they
have
could
anything
put,
like that anymore either. Like
They
the racing games are so like they're either like over the top, like like a Transformers movie, and or they're like it's like a romantic thing. Like, okay, Jensen Button, you've got 5 laps left. Watch your tires, and you have to like it's like a full fucking racing sim. They don't have like gritty street racing games anymore. Like they're all like too much fucking bullshit.
And then there's like Trackmania where you're just fucking flying in
just
the
going
air.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like why Battlefield games don't really do well. It's because it's just not the target market video game. Kids want either fast paced, close range, Call of Duty shit, or they want a battle royale. Like the game just wouldn't survive. The same reason, like whenever there's remasters of games, I remember everybody was busting their fucking undernuts about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater when they got remastered. That lasted maybe a week. Who the fuck is playing
minutes.
Tony Hawk's Play Skater?
Play Skater 4.
Porn Skater
Dub
fucking
edition.
commercial coming to you.
I don't usually like to break attention away from discussion.
Are you still looking at Brooke Burke?
No, I'm done with that.
Okay.
I've already.
Do we
I've
need
already
a commercial?
I've already
We need a
finished.
commercial.
I finished, but
We need to break
the
the
person
commercial.
we were talking about 2 weeks ago on the podcast has now arrived in the
Oh!
chat.
Charmed. Legend,
Charmed.
man.
The legend.
Do I
Legend.
need to
What was it
embarrass
you were gonna ask?
now
What was
that
it
he's
you were gonna
here?
ask?
I said,
Don't embarrass him. Do it. Yeah, roast his ass.
Yeah.
Jimmy's getting roasted. Go ahead,
I
Knackers.
don't
Take it
remember
away.
what I was going to ask, Jimmy. Do you remember?
What?
I don't.
Wait, Wait, what?
Wait, what?
So okay,
Wait, what?
so real quick,
Great podcast.
Charmed. 2 weeks ago on this podcast, Jimmy started off a fantastic sentence with the best words that I've ever heard, and he began to explain a Skyrim focused Twitch channel, a live stream, an interactive experience, if you will, like Nick
That
at
had
Night.
hosted him. Yep.
Yes. And so Jimmy had gotten this fantastic raid from a Skyrim creator after he had been playing Skyrim, and he began to explain your channel. And he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, this guy's name is Charmed. And I said, Jambalaya, my friend, not only has this person been in this Twitch chat during this podcast for quite some time, I've talked about him. I've brought him
Dozens
up. You've
of times.
been in my channel when I've rated him. And he was like, yeah, I found this new guy. Like, do you guys ever
No,
heard
dude,
of
I found him. I found him. He's new. Okay, welcome on in, Charmed. It's good to have you. Anyway, I'm glad. Good. It all worked out.
It was a good time. So
yeah, I totally always listen to everything Knackers and Bishop say.
it's all right. It's all right.
I think we've all now had a period on this podcast where we've come across Charmed stream and been like, wow, this is amazing. And then we bring
All
it
at
up.
different times.
Yeah. Like, man, this is really cool.
I literally dined with the man at TwitchCon and came back and told stories about
I
him.
remember the story. I don't remember the individual. Like, it just didn't connect. Like, the name didn't connect. You know what I mean? So when I came across this channel, I was genuinely excited because, you know, anytime you find a content creator that you think you're like, oh, man, I really like this content creator. I want to tell everyone about this content creator I think is really unique and cool, right? Which you did to me a while back about Charm, but it just, and I never, you know, I never happened to look.
It's okay.
You know, it's probably because I didn't trust you. I didn't believe you.
It's fine.
I believe you.
It's fine. You know, this happens a lot with Weenie. Weenie will we'll watch a movie together or something, and then she'll watch the movie again like a month later and be like, Nicholas, I watched this movie. It was so fantastic. It's called Thor: Dark World, and you'll never believe the plot of this. She does this all the time, or we'll like watching a YouTube video or something. But it's okay. She's influenced by the ganja, so she gets.
It all works out. It all works out. Elgato.
Elgato. Yeah, I was just gonna say the only thing I've played, I only play Call of Duty.
I know.
Other points during the week, I'm working, and then when
You're
it's time to
PvP
game,
god. You're a young.
You are a young
global
god.
superstar.
Young god.
Yeah.
I am going to. I have 397 clips that I've taken of my Call of Duty gameplay over the past 2 months, and I'm going to have some YouTube videos coming out. They're going to showcase my awesome PvP-ness.
I like Pickle Nick, by the way. Your little gaming alter ego. I like.
Thank
that.
you. I have a blast.
Cool idea.
It's one of those. I completely.
It's weird. It's like, does anyone else use like some type of avatar this stream?
You want to tally up things that we borrow from each other? You want to go ahead and go on record and tally?
Have an avatar off. Avatar off.
Dude, God,
I know.
I thought it was fun. No, the way you animate him is way more advanced than what I do. So,
Snapcam, dude.
yeah,
It's all it is, a little piece of software. But yeah, that I know we had a conversation about that when I was streaming, but it's nice to have a
cool.
day where I can just stream,
I like it.
off camera, and
good
just
idea.
shit on kids.
yeah.
All night long.
It's a very good idea. I like it, and I think that you have you got a good plan, dude.
It's crazy how like Bozo and the Pickle are more intriguing than me as a person.
Dude, it took me a little while to acknowledge the fact that people enjoyed the beer face more than my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took me a little while to like kind of come to grips with that, but then I realized beers are non-sexual, they're androgynous, they're non-threatening, and you never got to see my RBF because it looks like the beer is always smiling pretty much, right? So I think in that regard, in a weird roundabout way, I think even though people know that I'm male, I think by being in your defense too, like a pickle or a non like sexualized character, something that's not male or female, it just makes it more.
Are you suggesting that chat comes in and sexualizes you immediately?
No, that's not what I'm suggesting.
They
what I am
absolutely
saying
do
is, what I'm saying is, I think you have a wider appeal if you use something as an avatar that is not male or female. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think, and that was actually one of the things when I was thinking about doing an avatar. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't one or the other, even though I was obviously have a male voice. I didn't want to have something that was pandering to one thing. I wanted something that would be kind of a neutral gender type of thing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, especially nowadays where, for one, anybody who doesn't exist on either side of male or female, to have a place where they feel like they can exist and relate and be accepted, it's being more inclusive, which is something that, you know, everybody strives to do. But it's awesome that was a thought of yours, because it really opens the doors for a lot of other things. You know what? I just realized I would be willing to do this for you, even though I would be reaping all of the benefits. We could put this podcast behind a paywall so that if people ever wanted to see what you actually look like, they have to pay me to be able to see that fat stash.
But dude, then the 12 viewers that we have right now that are watching this podcast or listening to it afterwards, then they're gonna have to pay. Come on, man.
That is
Can't
enough
make
to
them pay.
cover my coffee for 2 weeks. And if I could not pay for my own coffee for 2 weeks, that would be worth screwing everybody else not willing to pay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what? I'm gonna leave it up to you. You're the originator and creator of this podcast, so ultimately it's up to you to decide, sir.
You should sell your ideas to YouTubers, man. Like David Dobrik. You could really just ace it.
It's time for fucking Twitch tips on
Just
TikTok.
do subscribers only. Let's do subs only. How about that?
You pay for the extra content.
You're halfway there, right?
The
Maybe
unedited.
that increases your subs a little bit.
Real quick on TikTok, I know that I should never be taking financial advice, but one of the cool things about TikTok are the trends that happen. And one of the trends was there was somebody who said, tell me something about everyday life that you feel is illegal to know. And there's all of these financial professionals that are coming out and saying things like about mortgages and taxes. Some of the things that these people say that like enlighten people to, like how to save certain money, what to do with money when you're investing or when you're saving, and like how to get around certain things that should fuck you financially, but is really just like a massive con by the government to get your money, is honestly insane. And it's one of my favorite things about that type of short form content is people who specialize in certain fields and release like little piece of information like that. It's been something cool that I've watched. All right, Elgato. Elgato released 3 new products. They have an LED strip, a green screen gaming mat, and sound panels. And
Wait, what's the green screen thing?
it's a gaming mat, like a big mouse pad.
It's a
that's
mouse
green.
pad that's green. Yep.
Why do you need that?
So people who do crafts, if they wanted to chroma key stuff out,
yeah, okay. That
or
makes sense.
if you're a competitive gamer and you want to share your keyboard, mouse, or controller when you're gaming.
Okay, yeah. That's cool.
So very, very common thing. The gaming mouse pad, I think it was $60. The LED strip was $60 for a smart. They're called RGBW LED strips. There are RGB strips that have dedicated LEDs for broadcasting the white color, anywhere in between 6,500 and 3,500 Kelvin, which is important when it comes to production. And then you have the very controversial sound panels, which there are 6 pretty sizable sound panels, acoustic treatment panels for $100. And there has been a lot of conversation. I've kind of gotten in on shitting on the people shitting on Elgato. And Jimmy, I don't know how much you care about this kind of stuff or how much you've been following. I know
Did you know that I have sound panels all on the walls?
I didn't. I did not.
I do. But it was also something that I got from Amazon, and I got enough to cover my entire corner wall space in front of me right here for like $50, like the foam. And then my wife, what we did was we took old sheets and we put them on some like little pieces of wood that we drilled into the wall. I don't know why I was doing like this because I actually drilled. I didn't hammer. We drilled the sheet that had the sound foam pieces. My wife like used those little like adhesive strips, the 3M strips, to put them on the sheets. And so it's just these sheets of sound foam that we can just pull the thing off and all the sound foam's off the wall. All it is it was like her idea. She's the one who figured it all out because she was tired of hearing me in the bedroom, which is right there. And so she was like, okay, we're going to soundproof this wall. And so now she can sleep.
Good. Yeah, I had no idea you soundproofed the room.
No, it was actually my wife because, yeah, she's actually the one who did it all. I just hung it up pretty much. She did everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I used to have sound foam. I used to have it up. I don't have it up now just because I'm using different audio stuff and we have like a thicker wall between Casey and I. But we have just blackout curtains, like very heavy duty curtains that we hang in the bathroom in between, so the sound doesn't travel through. So I think we all have. You listed all the prices for all these things, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. The sound panels are $100 for the starter pack, right?
Yep.
That's very few panels you get to.
And
man, like,
okay, so from my professional experience working in production, the best way to there are about a dozen good ways of preventing sound from transferring through rooms. The amount of sound panels that you'll get from Elgato will not do anything. It'll reduce some of the noise, but not much. In a small space, it might help, but in a large space like a bedroom or a room that anyone's going to use, they're not going to do anything. I don't know at what point, and I'm going to shit on Elgato, so trigger warning for Elgato fans. I don't know at what point Elgato released a product where they thought to themselves that they're some ungodly, untouchable company like Apple, where anything that they touch turns into gold. But let's just reference 3 recent products. A mouse pad that is green. A RGB strip that is $60 or $70 that doesn't have individually addressable LEDs. So it can't do effects, can't do anything. It's an RGB strip with like a very basic one, competitive with something that you could get off Amazon for $10-15. The one thing that it has is the ability to control it from your PC. So many other RGB strips nowadays have app controls, and maybe you don't have the integration with Stream Deck. Not worth $60 at all, not even remotely. The third product being the sound panels, $100 for a mounting system. And I took the time to watch their stream when they released all these products. And the product designer for all this stuff, he was talking about like how difficult it is to mount sound panels, especially if you're renting a room, or an apartment, like most streamers will do. And he went through all the difficulties of mounting these things up. And yes, sound panels can be a pain in the ass to mount, but it's not like this extremely difficult task that if you that you need like some extremely complicated product to solve. It's just it's like a decent know-how of how to mount those sound panels up to be able to execute. So they basically produced a mounting system to solve a problem that wasn't even that much of an issue to start. It's just a lack of information that most people that are trying to mount these things have, right? So my whole thing is like looking at all the shit that they released. The Stream Deck is one of my favorite products that I used. I don't think that Elgato has released a good product since then or before that point. Their capture cards are okay. Their Cam Link is an absolute piece of dog shit, completely useless for most people. It has tons of issues. The standard of the product is actual garbage.
That is a 50-50 product. It works flawless for 50%, and then it's dog shit for everybody else. Yeah. So like their manufacturing, I'm sure there's just like it slipped through the cracks a few times with that crap. Their other capture cards are pretty good. The stuff like I use Elgato products for most of my capture, but a vast majority of the products that they've released are garbage. Not necessarily garbage, but are so overwhelmingly overpriced and so or misinformed from like a product standpoint. Like their LED panels they have that mount to the desk are great, but they are so misinformed of the use case. Like there's so many better products than those panels that you can get for a quarter of the price that it like actually annoys me that they're marketing these products to streamers that don't have a ton of money, that they're just trying to like basically rob the community of its value. And a lot of the time it's basically it comes down to like misinformation or like people not understanding how to do these things or to set up correct lighting or sound or whatever it is. So after seeing this release, I was like, holy fuck, they released 3 completely overpriced and overhyped. I wouldn't even say overhyped, but overpriced products that already exist in the market that they're trying to solve. Like, what are they solving? These products already exist. They haven't innovated anything. They haven't added to anything. They've added an integration to the LifeX or to their RGB strip that works with the Stream Deck, but you can already do that with LifeX or Philips Hue or like a plethora of the other RGB strips with 100 more features. So I don't really understand what Elgato's doing. I feel like they've kind of lost their touch, but a $60 mouse pad that is just green doesn't make sense to me. An RGB strip that is as basic as they come that you could get back in 2008 doesn't really make sense to me.
their sound panels for that cost it just doesn't make sense. It's so incredibly misinformed that it's just like the solutions, it seemed like something that they came up with at the last second, or like they developed the product and then they tried finding the use case for the products.
So I got some rebuttals for you. Because I'm on the opposite side. Do I think that there is a little bit of Elgato? Yes, absolutely. Do you believe that buying into an ecosystem equates to additional cost into a product?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. To have so there's an additional value when all the products can work together, if that's what you're talking about.
Okay, that, but also, so you and I both know what the first newer app for mobile was to control the lights, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody says there are cheaper LED strips that work in the same way, that have applications, do they have applications that are actually developed for the device? Because that application that was for iPhone was not made for iPhone. It was shimmied. There were parts that were cut off. That application was absolute dog shit. So do you believe that some of the development costs of applications that are properly developed for devices also value into the cost?
Yes.
Okay. For smart capabilities, because again, you said like there's LED strips on Amazon that are, you know, for $15-20, and there are ones that have IR remotes, but ones that have smart capabilities, and no, you can't control each individual LED on those particular strips, but they are smart controlled. They tie in with the Elgato software and hardware with the ability to leave open for connecting to API down the road as well. If they make, you know, with Elgato being tied in with Corsair, do you believe that should factor into cost as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So moving on from the LED strip, because the LED strips compared to both LifeX and Philips Hue, it's $30 cheaper.
No, $10. The LifeX strip is $70.
It's $79.
Did they increase the price? When I bought it, it was $70.
I just checked it last week and it was $79.99.
Okay,
Philips Hue is
$20 more.
$89.99. But I guess the original Philips Hue one needed a hub. So that's neither here nor there. The sound panels, I will not try and argue that they are a little bit expensive.
Yep.
My problem is, one, the mounting system. What other audio panels have you seen with an audio system?
With a mounting system?
Yeah. Sorry.
There's other ones that do, but to me it's like, so to answer your question, there aren't other ones that have like a dedicated system that I personally know of off of the top of my head, but that's because that there isn't necessarily a necessity for that mounting system. So the mounting system is cool, but it doesn't really the problem is that it doesn't solve a problem. It solves an issue with people not having like misinformation or not having the available resource to understand how to mount the panels, because mounting panels on a wall is not a complicated task.
No,
it's just having the right tools to do it, if that makes sense.
So this is where it kind of gets in the conversation of convenience equals cost, right? And the importance of aesthetic when it comes to streamers and how things look. Do you think that having the ability to, if they decide to come out with a different type of foam that is hot swappable or a different color, and being able to swap those things, do you think that those should factor into the price as well?
No.
Okay.
Because you can already make those decisions with other products right now. So you can already buy form factor products. So like planning ahead for what Elgato is going to release, you can already buy like a hex designed sound panels that are professionally produced by a professional audio company for around the same cost, if like less, right? You can get them in any assortment of colors. You can get them in custom colors. You can already do that. So I don't think that factors in, but I get where you're going with this, like where the price stacks up.
Right.
As far as the smart device is concerned, I totally agree with you. If you have 50 apps that on your phone or your computer, they control a plethora of different devices. Personally, I have a newer LED panel that lights my face, and then one that's behind me. And then I have these what are they called? The leaf panels behind the wall,
leaves,
and then
whatever.
I use LifeX lights all inside of in the apartment. So to control all of these different devices, right? They all have their own individual apps. Do you know how I control them? I control them with a single button push on a Stream Deck.
Right.
So they all have their own individual APIs. A lot of them now have their own ability to be controlled through the Stream Deck already. So to like that additional value isn't necessarily there in my mind because it isn't that much of an extra step to hook up these devices.
Jimmy, for Christ's sake.
It isn't that much of an additional effort to hook up a secondhand product that already works with Stream Deck because of apps that have been designed. If we go back, if we go back like 2, 3, 4 years before all of these integrations were within Stream Deck, I'd be like, wow, this is awesome that Elgato is releasing these products like an RGB strip that works with the Stream Deck. That's awesome. But we're at a point now where there's already been integrations developed for the Stream Deck with different products that it doesn't like. It's too late. It doesn't really make sense because there's cheaper and better products that exist that already work with Stream Deck, if that makes sense. Like there is a LifeX integration with Stream Deck now.
Right. But would you get that integration if you bought a random Chinese knockoff from Amazon?
No, but you could get that same quality with something that's relatively the same price with more features. Like the LifeX strip is $79.99. I just looked at it. Actually, this one that I found. Okay, that one's on a deal. So at Best Buy, $79.99, and it has effects. It has more features within the LED strip, and it has an API that you can already work with. So for $20 more, there's a product that already exists that does 10 times the things that RGB strip can do that Elgato released. Elgato released this RGB strip that doesn't have like a. So when I say individually addressable LEDs, I know that you know what that means, but that means that each LED can be a different color. So what that means is with the Elgato strip, it is one single color across the entire strip.
No, you can change parts of it. It's just not single LED.
I don't think you can on the Elgato one. I'm almost certain you can't. There's not individually.
In some of their,
I could be wrong though.
In some of their marketing stuff, they showed like different color gradients that could go throughout the strip. So I'll have to look again. I'll
have to look again. Yeah, I'll have to look as well. But when I asked that question, they said that they couldn't do individually addressable LEDs. I asked that in their chat, but they may have that as an option later down the road. But just seeing that myself, I was like this is a cool thing, but there's other workarounds that you can achieve the same capacity. Maybe it's not something that you can do directly from a Stream Deck, but then you also have to factor in the cost of having like all of the Elgato ecosystem. So now your baseline cost to operate that LifeX strip or that RGB strip is now going to be $160 because you need actually even more. What's the baseline?
But who's buying a Stream Deck to a company that's what I'm talking about? Is like when you're buying into that ecosystem, it's people that already exist.
That already have something.
Yeah.
Right. But I think you have both, right? Because you have streaming hopefuls that are just trying to get the thing that everyone else has. Like my buddy Ramik, who went and bought all of the different products from LifeX Elgato, because they integrate together. And then he found out that they're all lacking, right? So you end up in that ecosystem, but you're missing out on a ton of features if you just did a little bit more research, right?
Just like Apple.
Just like Apple. But I think that Apple has a right to do that because they have innovated in the space. Has Elgato innovated yet? Because the Stream Deck, they've taken a product that already existed in professional broadcast and brought that and made it readily accessible to people. I think that that's an innovation. Like the Stream Deck is something that I use literally every single day. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I don't think that Elgato has innovated on anything.
I think Elgato has bought a lot of companies and they bought a lot of ideas that they're taking the approach of we're gonna put everything together in the same market with things that streamers want, things that streamers need. Yeah. We're gonna try and make a premium version of that product. And then in some cases they succeed, in some cases they do not. But I think for the most part, Elgato's had some good stuff. Like their Stream Deck, like you said, I use it every time I stream. I've been using it. I have a Gen 1 Stream Deck that's been amazing since I've had it. And it's a great product. That's pretty much the only Elgato product I use, though. I don't use their capture card because I think AverMedia has a better capture card for the same price. And I think it just comes down to you have to decide what's best for you as a consumer, as a stream. Stream Deck is a great thing. I think that they charge a premium for ease of use. Like a lot of people have said, if you honestly have to soundproof a room, you can do it for much cheaper than what they are offering. And you're barely getting any foam. I think the foam is like the foam thing to me is the thing that's the most egregious. The other ones I can see the market. The foam thing is like you barely get shit, and it's like a lot of money. It's like why would you spend that when you could get 10 times as many foam panels for the same cost? You know what I mean?
Here, one of the final things that I'll say about that is, Jimmy, I respect your opinion. Bishop, I respect your opinion. But until somebody comes out and does room tests of the Elgato panels and how they perform and the shitty panels and how they perform, we can talk about how many you can get for how much all fucking day long. And one of my biggest...
I think it's a diminishing returns type of thing, though. I think for the effect you're trying to get, I don't think there's a big enough difference between these premium panels they're selling and the cheap panels you could buy.
Can you back that up with proof and research?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm sure if someone's down, I bet your boy freaking Epos Vox would freaking do it. I bet you that'd be.
He's got him.
Yeah, I bet you that'd be something he could maybe do and see if he could. But you would have to have the right equipment for that. I mean, that's like a science thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So when it comes to soundproofing a room, it's more about the volume of the product that you're using than the quality of the product. Like you could use drapery in your room and just have like a bunch of blankets in the corner of your, like there's so many dynamics to actually soundproofing a room. Most of what people buy on Amazon is actually for sound like it absorbs the bouncing within the room, so that the sound bouncing within the room. Soundproofing is more related to what Jimmy was mentioning earlier, where his his wife in the other room can't hear him.
No, my girlfriend's on that side.
Yeah,
my wife's on this side.
So I think that and this goes back to people just not understanding like what they need, and it goes Elgato appeals to people that want streamer aesthetic and not product function. Okay, that's just a fact. Period. I mean, even Knackers made a video talking about what's better than the Stream Deck, the keyboards that he makes, just from like actual usability, like the ability to have like a tangible physical button. Even though I would argue that I would suggest a Stream Deck to people more often than I would suggest one of those keyboards, even though in a production workflow, I would use what Knackers it produces, right?
Even over the new Loud Pack that I went over, or Loop Deck Loud Pack. God damn it! So the thing that like
Loud Pack,
visually speaking, there are the Amazon products that you can buy where you can just get like you get like a big vacuum sealed bag of sound foam, and you can place it all over the fucking place. That is going to do infinitely more than $100 worth of like if there's let's say a 10 by 10 square on a wall in front of you, that's not going to do much for reducing the sound reverberation inside of the room. Like only soundproofing one side of your room does nothing. It almost does nothing. Because you still have bounce. Sound doesn't necessarily.
It does enough if you cover enough of a wall. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're covering the initial bounce,
this entire
what you're saying is
side of the wall between where me and my wife sleep is covered in that fucking foam. She doesn't hear me at night anymore in that bedroom. She used to.
It's like going underneath a blanket and recording audio is far superior than soundproofing one wall of your room.
True. Right.
And that's why like professional audio people, a lot of the time, if they're in the field, they'll just take a blanket and put it over their head. You have like these, it's like a shipping blanket, but they're used for production. Yeah. And they use that a lot for soundproofing. So I think in most, like Knackers is right. Like these things are going to have to be tested, but what Elgato produces is aesthetic products. Like these aren't products that are solving that much of an issue in the world. Like there's already soundproofing products. They've existed for like 50, 60 years, right? If not longer. Yeah. There's professional products that exist. There's acoustic.
It's an aesthetic, like just like their green screen. It's a very convenient. If I were a green streamer, I would want the Elgato green stream because you can fold it up, just pull it up.
Well, that thing's awesome, man.
Yeah,
like
it's amazing. It's an amazing product.
Right. I forgot about that product from while I was listing the products. Like that product solves an issue of when you're a streamer, having your room dedicated to having a green screen, you reduce the usability and function of that room.
That's a way to avoid having to do that.
Right.
And that's an awesome product. It solves the problem. That's probably their second most innovative product.
So, I don't know if this was just like an afterthought sort of product, but I don't understand Elgato's necessity. Maybe because people are asking for it. Maybe there's some sort of background demand for people that are playing Fortnite or that want to show like a keyboard cam. But there's already products on Amazon that exist that have green screen or green colored or blue colored mouse pads. Like these things, these massive, like I use an XL mouse pad. It's like a glorious mouse pad, like a huge mouse pad. So I don't have any limitation to where the edge of my desk is. But I can buy the same mouse pad in green already for the same price that Elgato's selling there. So that's I don't understand why they went down the rabbit hole of producing that. Maybe it's so people can have a one-stop shop where they go on Elgato and they buy all the products
I think that's
what
it is, dude. I think that Elgato's trying to be the one-stop shop for you want to stream, you can get all your products here at Elgato, and I think that's what they're trying to be.
I have always been like a proponent of telling people to save their money when they're streaming, like buy this instead of that, right? I've done that for a long time. Like instead of buying professional lighting equipment, you can buy those Supon light panels and mask them and do, and basically save, $500-600 by doing that, or $200 or $300, right? Yeah. Like there's always an easier route. And I feel like Elgato is tending to do the complete opposite, right? They're marketing a $60 mouse pad to people because they want you to continue to spend money at their business. But in reality, they're sucking the life out of the streaming hopefuls that are going to be buying these products. An overwhelming majority of the people that buy Elgato products don't succeed in streaming, don't succeed. They end up losing money being content creators.
You can make that argument for anyone that buys any product, not just Elgato products. You know what I mean? I don't want to turn this into a...
No, I understand that
session.
No, I understand that, but streaming is specifically one of those things that people think they can dive down and turn into some sort of living, right? More,
dude.
So
I mean, that sort of thing is
facets
apparent in all aspects of life. You can ask a 7th grade freaking B team basketball player; they think they're going to be the next Michael fucking Jordan, and you're like, bro, you can't even. Can't make a fucking free throw, bro.
Right.
Can't make a layup. All right.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's apparent in any field. But you're right in the sense that in Twitch, there are very, very few like that what you could consider to be successful. Honestly, what I would consider to be successful on Twitch is less than 1% of the people streaming on Twitch.
Right.
And that is crazy to me. That like less than 1 out of 100 people are what most people would even consider to be successful on the platform, and that's a little eye opening, I think, when you think about that. And so it definitely lends some weight to your point. So I take back what I said. Yeah, you're not an idiot. You're only idiot.
I missed that part.
Wait, what?
Well, yeah, I think like compared to a basketball or hockey or any sport, like hockey's an extremely expensive sport. Racing go-karts is an extremely expensive sport to get into. But when it comes to streaming, I think that they're
like probably targeting a newer market that because of COVID, you guys saw the numbers. Look at all the people that just started streaming this last year.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that are going to be chasing the dragon of. It's one of the reasons I don't really mention a lot in my job is obviously because of what I do, but I would never, kids want to know. I'm never going to tell a kid what channel I stream on. I'm not going to lie to them and tell them I don't. I just tell them, if you want to talk to me about this, you got to talk to me when I'm not your teacher. You're talking to me outside of school. And the kids are cool with that. I'm not denying it, but I'm not going into my personal life.
So just to clarify my position, I think streaming, what we've seen, and we talked about this, I actually think on our very last podcast, is that we have a lot of like repeating notions. I can't remember the exact term, but it's like it's
cyclical.
Like
Trends?
Yeah, what is the bird that repeats exactly what someone else says? It's you say something and then the bird repeats it. Parroting. Yeah, parroting. So I think in streaming there's a lot of parroting that takes place, right? You see the same products being promoted, not because they're good, but because people recommend them, right? Because they've been recommended that product by another streamer. So I think there's way too many people that are there's already too many people in this space that do that parroting motion. That for me, I act as the opposite of that. Like a $60 green screen mouse pad is fucking absurd. I understand it if you just got your government check, from the COVID relief, and you've got $600-$700 to spend, and you just want to do a single checkout. I totally understand that. But there's better options for less. There's easier ways to do these things. Or there's better.
Hold on though.
Yep.
What do you have the 3XL from GMMK?
I have to check.
4 feet wide.
That's a really expensive mouse pad. I can't.
It's not, because
$60.
It's a full. The GMMK one, the 4 foot by 2 feet, is $49.99, and that's standard black.
Oh, well, I don't have one that big, I guess. So I don't know.
The green screen one it's a gaming mat. It's not a mouse
like
pad.
massive.
A gaming mat. Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's that outlandish.
I don't know. I haven't looked into the product. I'm just listening to Bishop be a boomer.
So, okay, but you can go on Amazon right now and you can buy a green screen mouse pad for $29.99.
How long does it hold up after 6 months of use?
How long does the Elgato one hold up after 6 months of use?
We don't know, and that's my
don't
thing.
know.
You can't
There's
just
no
say I can buy it on
research,
Amazon cheaper, because
they're not okay. But my point is that they're not marketing it for those reasons. They're not marketing these sound panels.
They're marketing it because they're just trying to make money. I get it. They're business.
But they're not marketing it for the features of these products. They're marketing it for problems that don't necessarily exist. Like mounting sound panels is complicated if you don't want to put holes in your wall. Like they were mentioning that you have to drill holes in your wall to put screws to keep foam sound panels on the wall, and they constantly fall down. You don't fucking screw. What the fuck are you talking about? There's not a single person that works in a professional world to understand that has ever mounted sound equipment, even like in the very low level of production that I work in, that would ever recommend you screw fucking foam into a wall.
Yeah.
There is short-term adhesive that you can use. There are so many other options that you can use. They're creating like an environment where they're scaring streamers into like not purchasing other products.
Dude, I think you're overthinking this.
Dude, listen,
I really do. I think you're overthinking this.
$60 on a fucking mouse pad, then do it. If you want to spend $60 on a green screen mouse pad, go do it. If you want to spend, listen, I'm not saying you, but you're saying I'm making too much of a big deal. The problem is with parroting inside of the streaming
I'm not
world.
saying you're making. Okay, I'm not saying you're making too much of a big deal. What I am saying is this: this is a company that has obviously shown they're catering to. Elgato is probably one of the number one companies anyone thinks about when they think about streaming on Twitch. So they're providing things they didn't have. I think what Knacker said is app. They're trying to become the one-stop shop. You can stream. I guarantee there's going to be like Elgato branded, like stream-ready PCs you can buy at like big box stores.
Right. Corsair. They're Corsair ones.
That's what they are. I just feel like this is a thing that at the end of the day, this is just a company trying to make money.
That's exactly what it is.
You know what I mean?
But and that's like, I understand that that's how this business is operating. The problem is that people are going to make misinformed purchase decisions based on the bullshit marketing. Right. Elgato they've produced a handful of decent products over the years. The Stream Deck, that green screen, those are products that solve an issue within the space. Right. I don't think that their sound panels solve any problem within the space that currently exists, except for a lack of information with people that have mounted panels before.
No, I haven't looked at those. I do think from what you've described that it's a slap in the face. That's just a stupid thing.
I understand that you can control the RGB strip from your Stream Deck. That's fucking awesome. I've gone through the painstaking bullshit of having to like go and put if then that IFTTT, is that what it is? Processes to be able to control lights. That was a huge fucking pain in the ass. I would prefer that if Elgato worked on software and in integrations over selling fucking dumb products like a green screen mouse pad or an RGB strip that has half the features of competitors in the space for $10 less, right? Or $20 more. You can get shittier products that solve the exact same problem. Maybe Elgato's thought through a few things, but to market these products to streamers that are hopeful, it just, to me, I just want to be like, hey, do a little bit more research than just buying the fucking the white label. I don't think Elgato has the even experience in the space to to make these decisions for people. I don't see the like understanding, like the green screen is a great example. Understanding the problems that streamers run into where you don't want to take up an entire room with a green screen behind you. You can't function in that space without taking that down. It's a huge pain in the ass. Having something that's easily deployable, fantastic idea. It solves a problem. The Stream Deck, being able to control your stream without having to use the functions of buttons on your keyboard. Having a dedicated thing that you can visually see where you can select your scenes. You can do 100 things with the Stream Deck or 1,000 things with the Stream Deck.
Yeah.
Great product. A green screen mouse pad doesn't solve anything. These sound panels don't solve any problem that actually currently exists.
No, they're accessories.
The mounting system does
they're
nothing.
Accoutrements.
To be able to, it solves problems that they're creating as a bullet
They're
point.
trying to make, dude,
For
I'm telling you,
sales point. That's what I'm saying.
bro,
They're stupid
they're
products. All three
trying to
of these things
be
are
like
fucking
the
stupid
one
products.
stop. They're trying to be the streamer Walmart, where you just
Right.
walk in and walk out with everything you fucking can possibly think of.
Right.
That's what they want to be.
The only argument that I would make against what you just said is they don't solve any of your problems. I think that they solve problems. Here's the thing. What you and I value from a product isn't the norm for what other people value out of products. Some people value buying 6 panels, having mounting hardware, and sticking them to the wall and looking and going, that looks fucking sexy.
But hold
and
on,
then
it doesn't come with
subs
mounting hardware. It doesn't. Those brackets, they're just brackets. They don't come with actual hardware to mount them. So you
no, it
still
comes
have
with
to figure
the
out.
adheesive pads.
Okay, copy.
But
Yes.
but
it doesn't
besides
come
the
with-
point, the things that you and I value aren't the things that everybody values. So I'm not a
Right.
competitive gamer whose keybinds and mouse movements are important to my audience. Green screen mouse pad solves that. So I'm not trying to say that a $60 gaming mat is what everybody needs. I'm just trying to illuminate the fact that the things that we value, there are people on other parts of the target market that might see that and go, I've been waiting for this for so long, and now it's here. So that's my only
Gotcha. How does the green screen mouse pad solve that if it already exists? Like, okay, because when you and I, Knackers, when we want to buy a mouse pad, we're looking at a dozen different things. The size of the mouse pad, the texture, the quality of the edges of the mouse pad. Is it going to ride up over time? Is it going to scratch your wrist over time? Anyone that's played competitive shooters or PC games for a long period of time or work from a desk from a long period of time, there's little nitpicky little things that that you end up wanting from a product, that someone comes out, Glorious or XL comes out with an answer to those. Obviously, there's these companies on Amazon that sell just dog shit products that you end up, where it's just a green screen mouse pad, but the edges ride up over time. It's scratching your wrists. It's not comfortable. It's too mushy, the mouse pad, or it's too firm. Like there's 100 different, like maybe the threading of the mouse pad on the top is too low of a thread count, so it's really gritty or grainy. There's a lot of things that we buy products for, and I totally agree with you. Like, I don't have the same, like, I'm not going to buy anything from Elgato. I'm not going to buy their lighting stands because I know of 100 different ways that I would do that in a better way for less, right?
Sure.
I know that people aren't going to spend the time to do that research, but I also don't want to be an advocate for Elgato coming out with a $60 product when there is a competitive product for cheaper, knowing that people are going to buy all of these products because they're marketed by Elgato.
Yes.
I'm
That's
not
the
going
point.
to. Right. I totally understand that. I totally
I'm
understand marketing.
I think it's funny. This is the thing
if
that's been happening in the world for many years.
Jimmy, this is not marketing, Elliot speaking. I've marketed dozens of products in my professional life. I've marketed a camera company that's competitive with GoPro. Imagine how difficult of a problem that is. I totally understand that, right? I am not speaking from a marketing, like I could speak from a marketing perspective. I'm speaking from someone that's spent time streaming, that understands that I've had hundreds of people come through my chat that have asked me how to get into streaming, that have been told bullshit time and time again of what to buy and how much money to spend, and that they need a second streaming PC.
And you're upset that Elgato is selling a product that people don't need.
Yeah, I don't know if it's upset. I'm just disappointed that Elgato's spending their time producing a product, because I know how much manpower has to go into one of these things to market and produce a product, and all of the time that goes into this. They're spending their time selling gimmicky bullshit instead of working on great things like the Stream Deck or like the green screen. And people are still going to spend their money on these things.
Man. I mean, when you have big business and you're looking to fill in, like, people want new products, they want new things, and so a lot of the products that come out are not going to be anything that's going to be big or exciting. You see it in any large industry or anything, where they add, I mean, look at like I'll give you a great example. Like look at old consoles and like the third-party peripherals that come out for old consoles. Some of them end up being a huge hit, like a Game Genie or something like that.
Yeah.
But for every Game Genie you have a fucking Power Glove. That it sounds cool until you try it and realize it's not. So I think what you're describing, I get, and it's disappointing. But at the end of the day, I try to remind myself, the people making these decisions, they don't give a fuck about any consumer. All they care about is making money and what ways can they tell you that. It's unfortunate that Elgato has turned to that, but it doesn't surprise me because they're one of the biggest names in it now. So
Well, we could definitely spend another hour on this particular topic. We'll cut it there. I absolutely love that we have contrasting opinions about this because that's what I think makes perspective and opinion very important. One of the most important things that we can do, and anybody that's here, is to educate people. We can educate people as much as we want. At the end of the day, there's some people with money that are not going to give a shit about anything that any of us have to say. So I love that Bishop has such a burning passion for giving people options when it comes to spending money in the space. Like the mic mount that you're using right now is $15, $20,
Yep, and I've had it for how many years? Like 6-7 years. Yeah.
Compared to the Rode PSA 1, the Blue Compass, all these other mounts. Like I have a $60 or $70 mic mount when there's $300 to $400 studio options for mic boom arms. So it is very important. And maybe we'll spend some more time on this in another podcast because I think there's more conversations to be had. There's going to
be more products.
Yeah. I mean, Elgato's not going to fucking stop.
No, they're going to keep putting out products, and some will be shit, and some will be good. Hopefully,
What I will
a green screen GIMP suit to copy your eyeballs and mouth thing on your pickle. Thing.
I'm just gonna get tattooed as a pickle from fucking stomach up. One of the things that I will encourage anybody in chat is when you are browsing social media, and especially after product launches for any company, take what you see with a grain of salt, because one of my biggest frustrations with these releases is you have a bunch of professionals that head to Twitter and say, this is overpriced, this is overrated, you can get this for cheaper. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. And my biggest thing is not seeing enough. You see plenty of videos that are just like, this is the best product in the world, this is the best, we haven't had this forever and we need it. And there's never anybody who takes the time out of their day to say, hey, this overpriced product that everybody's shitting on, here's how it stacks up to these other products as well. You just get a bunch of people unlike us, professionals, audio professionals, and streaming content. Come doctors and commercials.
Commercials. Yeah.
So
it goes back to what we were saying a few weeks ago when we were talking about TikTok. It's like, if you can't, like I usually don't get into the nitty gritty and talk shit on Twitter. There's a few times that I've gotten into a few conversations, but I've gotten to the point now where, like, even scrolling through TikTok or Twitter, I'll avoid those conversations, because unless there's something that I can add to the conversation that answers questions, like leading by example, I tend to just try to stay out of that shit. Because it's like, to me, my first reaction if I was going to tweet would be like, at what point did Elgato start thinking that their shit didn't stink? And that could not be that might not be their position, right? They might actually legitimately feel like they're creating products that are solving a problem for a bunch of people that are asking them. Maybe there's millions of people asking them for a green screen mouse pad. Like, I tend to stay out of those things. And it's, to me, it bothers me that, like, the space that we're getting in, like, the entry level streaming stuff has always been things that you can kind of pull together from different sources. I'm afraid that people that are coming into the space are going to look to Elgato to solve their problem and then end up spending 10x more than they need to spend. Kind of like people that want to get into PC gaming that immediately go to a pre-built company and then end up spending $4,000 for a 3060 Ti in some garbage CPU, right? Or the last generation of equipment. So if I can, I tend to dissuade people or give them better options if it's available. A lot of the time, like in recent times, my buddies that had older PC equipment wanted to upgrade, and they're like, "Hey, how do I do this?" I said, "Hey, man, you could go and you could try to snipe a 3080 all day long, like we were talking about earlier on this podcast. You could spend like 8-10 hours of your life, or maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks trying to find these products, or you could just value your time and just do the easy thing and buy a pre-built. It might not, like, here's the things that it's going to be lacking. Here's what's going to what it's going to solve, but you're going to get it tomorrow, right? And it's going to be in your hands. You don't have to build it. You don't have to go through the all of the bullshit figuring out if you can get a product, what you can get, how long it's going to take. So I always give people options if I ever speak up and try to add to those conversations. But you're totally right as well, Knackers. You get parroting on the other side where people are like, "Oh, this thing's dog shit."
Yeah.
And then people are like, "Omega lol green screen mouse pad, Omega lol $60," right? That ends up happening as well. So I think we're both kind of like in between each extreme. You're closer to Elgato side. I'm closer to the side of the people saying green screen mouse pad, Omega lol.
I would say I'm like in the middle of the two. I'm not going to go out and tell anybody to go out and buy these products. But I again, the parody on both sides. I can't stand the blind sheep of Elgato that are just like, this is fucking amazing, but I also hate the blatant.
It's Elgato, man. You know it's got to be good.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard of the Cam Link before?
Yeah.
So yeah, great conversation. Thank you guys both for giving me your
good times.
and Jimmy, the only reason I yelled at you is because you were dancing and I was trying to listen to Bishop.
I was just trying to.
I couldn't concentrate on his pretty fucking face. I just saw your beautiful nipples dancing back and forth.
I can't. My ADD. I was distracted by the dancing. Oh, that was nice.
Sorry.
All right.
Must be bobbing.
Remember when we said this podcast was going to be under 2 hours?
Yeah, we do it.
Never happens. How many subjects did we have on our lines?
Q&A.
2 things.
We can do it.
We had 2 things on the lines.
What?
For subjects for this podcast, we only had 3 bullet points to work off of.
No, we didn't. We had more than that.
Did you guys add more?
Yes.
Jimmy did.
Oh, Jimmy. Typical.
What do you mean? We don't even use a script. We're professionals.
Yeah, I added shit.
Anyways, Q&A.
All right.
First question from a bag full of dicks. Bag full of bags. What mics do you use and why do you choose them?
I can go first.
Bishop,
I bought this mic off of B&H because it was on sale back in 2011. I wanted a studio microphone. It's a Rode NT1A. I bought it for like $399 or $389 because it was suggested by B&H. B&H has some of the best customer support. They're kind of like, what's the other audio company? Sweetwater. Sweetwater. You could just talk to their sales representatives. A lot of the time they steer you in the right direction. I've never had a problem with B&H where they tell me to go with one product and ends up being the shittier of the two. Very informed people. They told me to go with this microphone because I wanted to do a voiceover for a video project I was working on. I hooked it up to my PC with a simple audio capture. It's the Rode NT1A again with just an interface. I hooked it up to my PC and it sounded like dog shit because I never had the right equipment to use it. Spent all $400 on this microphone instead of the equipment further down the line that hooks up to the PC. Put it away. Didn't use it for 5, 6, 7 years. Used a headset microphone because it was peaking. It sounded like garbage. Only recently did I have the correct equipment with a mixer at first with a compressor. So spending money on the hardware down the line. Did it get to the point where I could start using it? So that's something you have to factor in when you're looking at microphones. But even more recently, Jimmy hooked me up with a DBX 286S. And without it, these microphones are completely useless. Or without processing hardware, your studio quality microphone might sound like something comparable for $100 or a Snowball or something along that line.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I have an RE320. I actually bought this mic without realizing that was the same mic you had just purchased like a month ago.
Bullshit!
I'm not bullshitting you. I'm serious.
Okay.
I knew you bought a new mic. I knew, but when I was looking into it, I didn't actually realize that was the exact same. It didn't click.
Okay.
It's true. But
have you ever heard of the stream Charmed?
Yeah, I honestly think you probably told me. So who knows? Maybe it did influence me, whatever. But it's the same mic that Knackers uses. But I actually went and tested out. I have an audio place, and they had an SM7B, an RE20, an RE320, and then like a bunch of other fucking mics. You could record, do a quick recording, and listen to how you sounded, like through. Yeah, it was cool. It was like an actual like.
Wasn't it crisp? Wasn't it more crisp than you've?
Crisp.
And that's what kind of blew my mind is like I'd been this close to getting an SM7B, and then after trying this mic out, I was like, man, I just like the way my voice sounded with this mic. So I just decided to go with this mic. And that's basically it. I mean, there's no solid mic for everyone. I've heard people that can sound amazing and if you have the right room set up, you don't even need a dynamic mic either. You can use a condenser mic. So, it's all, there's no magic button when it comes to microphone choice. You just gotta do a little research and try some things out. That would be all I could say. Hang on, my cat's meowing. I'll be right back.
You're good. So I bought this mic way before Jimmy did, way before he even knew what a microphone was. I was doing a lot of research about microphones and was researching mics that kind of matched my speaking pattern. And I was also, I'm not going to lie, call this the Game of Thrones effect, where everybody loves something so much that it automatically makes me hate it. Everybody loved the Shure SM7B so much, and I was so pissed off that everybody thought that this was the only mic that was going to work for every streamer on the history of the fucking planet. So I was like, there's got to be a better mic. So I was just Googling mic reviews like crazy. I came across this brand of microphones, started researching all the different mics that they had, found this mic that I thought would match me the most. I love the way that it looked, massive, girthy, black. It was just awesome from beginning to end. So, and then I got it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It being a dynamic microphone obviously came into play as well, but it was just something that I thought suited me and my speaking pattern, and that it has, in my opinion. Next question from Paul: how many PS5s have you sold on the black market, Bishop?
We did a quick short story. The company I work for, we just did a PS5 giveaway.
What?
And
How dare
they forgot to put the link in the email blast to the purchase option, or not the purchase, to join the giveaway. So there was a underwhelming amount of people that signed up for the giveaway. I think it was like 60 something, and of like 200,000 people that got emailed. So
oh my god.
Yeah. So I could have gotten a PS5 potentially, 1 out of 60 something. So that would have been nice.
Dude, if you guys ever come across one that you can get, I will 100% have the means and funds to refund you immediately if you can get one. Okay.
And
I will give you a tip for your efforts also.
Nice.
I'll be happy to.
A tip.
If a finder's fee.
You're gonna spread
You
my
can find
legs
me
and
at
TIE
PS4
fighter
Digital.
me?
At PS4 Digital at retail, which is $400 plus tax.
You gonna show me
PS4?
Luke's cockpit?
I'll give you a finder's fee. I'll give you just the tip.
You
You
find
gonna
me
put me in
anytime.
between episode 1 and 2 and show me Luke's cockpit?
Hey.
or-
Yo, I
dude.
might.
Can you just fucking Darth Maul my ass? Next question from Tom Chambers. Have you seen the Linus Tech Tips is starting a genuine gamer program? They source close to 100 3000 series cards for sale at MSRP. Thoughts? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, smiley emoji.
I don't know nothing about it.
I don't either.
I don't either, but it's good if it's gaming related. I think Linus has been pretty consistent over the years. So
Yep.
That's good. Sweet.
I'll have to look into it. Next question, second to last from Chubby Chunker. Back to the poking buttholes thing. This is the content we're all here for. What happens if I'm not long enough? I currently pee on my balls. Lil Peen Club. You pee on your
Little
balls,
Callum.
homie?
It's a little calamari ring on top of the balls. I
Damn,
get it.
man.
I
Poor,
see you.
I feel sad for this guy already.
Okay, so look, if one of you in the P to B excursion is not long enough, then all bets are off. It's kind of like it's kind of like nuclear codes, right? If one person isn't there to launch the nuke isn't getting launched and you're fine. However, with the mathematics that we came up beforehand with the equations, I'm sure no matter your length, you might be still able to reach your own b-hole to satisfy. So give that a shot. If you were to pee your own b, right, would you push?
I would. I'm just going to stop you right there, Bao. I'm not peeing my own bee.
All right, I'm going to talk to a real man. Bishop,
Right.
would you pull both of your nuts to one side and go under, or would you spread the nuts and fucking thread the needle and go back?
So I think in my current position, there's a few things to factor. So edge peen hair is one thing. So when you're going to one side and you take the balls to the other, you're going to end up with a little bit of
Is
hair
Casey
to hair
listening to this right now? I hope she is. I really do.
So the hair on the side of inner leg is going to joust the upper shaft of your peen. So that's going to just add a little discomfort. So just be wary of that when you try to pee your own pee. The other thing is dependent on testicular tube length, because some and also temperature, right? Temperature is a big factor, because if it's cold, it's going to be really tight up in there, and you might not be able to circumvent the balls with your peen. Or the B with your P.
Are we ready for the next question?
Not yet.
Next question?
Not yet. We really got to get into this. It's really important, Jimmy. You missed a lot when you were gone. This is really important. So it's all dependent on really just temperature, length, the girth of said B's, having your P be not fully
J.
H.
Make sure you
but
got your PB and J.
BS. Your PBS. Your P should be S, so then you could then touch your B. That's
and your J.
And your J.
This also opens up a whole new area in my mind of S-ing on your own D accidentally while trying to perform the P to the B.
Okay, let's go to the next. All right, we're going to the next one.
Shitting.
Okay,
You can shit on your own penis.
Sorry. I have a toothbrush here. Sorry,
I'm about to... Okay, we're going to the next question?
Yeah, the last question.
Okay, next.
Do you think Elgato will get into more core peripherals, microphones, cameras, etc.? Well, they
100%.
already into microphones.
Yeah.
But absolutely they're going to. I was actually assuming that this product launch was going to be cameras. I actually turned on my tweet notifications and was rudely interrupted. But I'm surprised that they haven't. I guarantee they're working on it right now. Whether or not they're going to go for a dedicated camera that does, if they're smart and they're out for money, they're going to build a camera that is not USB that requires you to buy the cam link in order to use it. But it will allow you to use it for other things as well. Like
or,
they make
it'll be the additional cost of the cam link and the camera. So if you had a cam,
or a bundle of 5% off cam link if you buy the Elgato cam.
Or they'll have two versions: one that cam link is required and one that isn't. One that's HDMI and the other one that's USB.
Yep.
Jimmy,
what do you think the next Elgato product will be?
I honestly could see them making or getting into the product space of other like audio accoutrements, like covers and shit like that. I could see more. I think the acoustic foam is just the beginning for little stuff and like the mouse pad. I think that they're gonna start getting into more. We're going all the way down to the nitty gritty where I could see Elgato little, like, what are those things they put on, like the analog sticks, the little freaking covers and shit like that?
Like the scuff stuff?
Yeah. I could see them doing even that too. Like I could see them branching out into that world as well.
But there's already a company that's overpricing those, so maybe not.
Who knows? I'm just saying, I think that they're going to throw a lot of shit at the wall and see what sticks. I wouldn't be surprised. Because they don't really have many other big-time competitors in the space. I
agree. So, like, my position is still, like, relatively the same, but I totally agree with Knackers being in the Elgato ecosystem. If they have a mixer or, like, even an audio interface that hooks up with Stream Deck capabilities, it could be very simple and basic, but it just has an XLR input.
Dude, if they were to create something to compete with the Go XLR that integrates with Stream Deck naturally, oh my god!
Think of Go XLR's digital audio routing interface, and then having that as programmable buttons, where you could choose when and how to route different audio to different places. Not only that, but having the custom background or the GIF background for certain, like there's so many possibilities, and I assume that that's probably going to be one of the next things as well.
Yeah.
They just
more than likely.
They just acquired Visuals by Impulse.
Yep.
Did you notice that?
Yep.
So that's interesting. I saw that. One of my buddies, Mikey, works there. Mikey, hey, he's a legend.
Firewire, dude.
Love that guy,
actually, I tried getting him on the podcast, and he's like, "I'm not suited for it yet, but we're in talks." So I think that's all.
What a legend! I love that guy, man. That guy's a good dude.
Chat, while we're doing our goodbyes, I want you, this was a conversation that we had in Jimmy's channel that was very, very important, and I need to know your guys' opinion. In chat, I want to put the minimum amount of money that you would need to be paid to get peed on. Like, what is the minimum amount that you would take urine? Now, we're talking on the face. It doesn't have to be in your mouth, no orifices in general, like chest, face.
No, it's got to be in your mouth.
Now, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, so let me frame this a little bit. You're just there on the ground. The person that's peeing is just free range pee.
Correct. And it only lasts as long as they can pee. That's it. One time. What's your minimum money amount? So yeah, this is the content you all pay for.
I guess you're right. You don't have to open your mouth, but it might get in your mouth.
And you might get paid
on if
extra.
you open your mouth or not. Okay.
Yeah, at least $100.
Okay. Anyways, thank you all very much for coming out to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast, the podcast that always stays kid-friendly and under 2 hours. We appreciate all of your time, your support. Thank you for the questions in chat, and thank you for keeping it lively in chat, especially when Jimmy takes his poop breaks in between. So we're going to go around the room.
I did give subs. You can't bitch.
You are correct. You're correct.
You're right.
Yeah. We're going to go around the room. Everybody's going to shout out their social media, and then we will close this bitch down. Who wants to go first? Poop Master? Come, Doctor?
Sure. My name is Jimbles, aka Middle Age Stream. You can find me on twitch.tv, Middle Age Stream. This week will be a slightly different schedule, but I'll post it in my Discord. I think my first live day will actually be on Wednesday this week. But I'll have a special stream to make up for it this weekend. And then I will be live on Katie Peters Plays channel on the night of March 16th. That is Tuesday, a week from this Tuesday. So it'll be before our next podcast. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. But we're going to be playing some No Man's Sky, and it should be fun.
You're going to find out whose Sky it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep,
indeed.
there you go.
Gender appropriation, by the way.
Yes.
Oh.
No man's, no woman's.
Time to cancel them twice. We have to go back.
Get them out.
They're going to have to fix the game again, brothers. My name is Bishop GP, a.k.a. Elliot Bishop. You can find me on Twitter at Bishop Was Here or on Twitch at Bishop GP. Probably in Jimmy's chat here and there talking shit or in Knackers, giving him words of encouragement as he plays video games. And that's it.
Which doesn't happen anymore.
You don't play video games.
The pickle does.
It is off-brand. Playing video games on Knackers TV is off-brand.
Yeah. There's no more Knackers. It's Nickel Pickle.
Pickle Nick at night, baby. Come see me get...
That's when they get,
vinegared. Hi, my name is Knackers. You guys can find me on this fucking Twitch channel. I'm on Knackers on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you guys are fellow talkers and you want to come out, I've been having so much goddamn fun with that platform. All those. As far as upcoming podcasts, next Sunday, we have Wizard CM, who is the community manager for OBS, and he is also a developer for OBS. He's done a shit ton of work for OBS, and we're going to be giving him all the good questions. The following week after that, we have obviously another group show with Bishop, Middle Age Stream, and I. And then the week after that, we have Rob Dies a Lot, and then we also have the homie T-Rex, who's a fellow streamer on the platform. I was actually... Jimmy, you were on his podcast as well, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a great show.
Both Jimmy and I were on his podcast, Conversations with Creators. Had a fantastic time, so it was time for me to bring him on and kind of learn what it's like being a new streamer here in 2019, 2020, 21. So I'm excited for those conversations. So this podcast will be back next Sunday, the Sunday after, and the Sunday after. And then, of course, you can check out our socials, which we will throw in chat. Guests, there it is. Any final words?
Dickle.
Ass circumference.
Sometimes women have to cut their taint in order to give birth. Thank you so much for coming out to the podcast. We love you all. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time and support. And we will see you later.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. If you would like to catch the show live, it airs on Twitch on my channel at twitch.tv/knackers at 9 p.m. every single Sunday. If you would like to check out the most recent episode of the podcast, you can probably click this little box here. And if you feel like checking out some of our highlights, you can maybe click this little box down here. And maybe I'll even put a little thing for you to click right here. No? Bye.